Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, he certainly provides the highlights, Callum does, the way he plays. It's
So,
fantastic.
Alan, are you taking this yellow to 5, or are you rushing it up to red?
I'm taking it to 5.
Yeah, and Callum follows your instruction, and he takes it to 5. He takes it.
Dear. Yes, Callum would would bristle at following my instructions, but still.
Oh no, I'm sure he wouldn't. So he's actually got a pioneer at 1 back now. Of course, that red ball is serving as a beautiful pioneer at 1 back. Always tricky. Oh, he's left himself with a difficult one. Didn't see how angled that is. What? He can't make the hoop. He can't shoot at red. He would have liked to have shot at red because the yellow's in the way now. Oh,
yep, he will have to lurk now.
Yep, back to lurking. Yep. Halfway.
Oh, he could take a wide position.
Take a wide position. Yeah, take a wide position.
Stephen would have to move the yellow, and he couldn't really hit it towards red because that might give too much away to Callum when you.
That's what he's doing. He's taking a wide position, so yellow can't shoot at him. He's threatening to run the hoop on his next turn. Stephen can't possibly leave the yellow there. He can't shoot at his own red either, because if Callum came through the hoop with force, Callum would have quite an easy shot at the red and the yellow afterwards.
Yes.
So Stephen, I think, will go to corner 4 or just to the eastern boundary.
Yeah, so last time when Stephen sat out from the boundary line a little bit, he was hoping that he would get the opportunity to move his other ball towards it and then set up a rush back in the lawn to the next. Yes. And this is kind of what he's done here. Even though he hasn't sat outside, when red joins up with yellow eventually, hopefully soon enough, he'll get some kind of rush up a lawn. So he's giving himself an option there by not going right into the corner.
Well, Callum will slam this through and hope to get near the red.
Yes.
Or maybe make 2 hoops at once. That'd be nice.
It has happened. It has happened. I've seen it happen.
It has happened. Yep. Now, Callum's got to be a bit careful here because the red is the danger ball, isn't it? The red is the ball that hasn't made all of the hoops for Stephen. So this is dangerous shooting at this one. He hits it beautifully.
Wow. Yes, fantastic. Dangerous, but not too dangerous with where the yellow was. If the yellow was out in the middle of the court, it'd be dangerous. But because the yellow was on the boundary line, not so scary.
All right. So Callum now, of course, needs to make hoop 7 or 1 back. Now, normally when you go through 1 back, he hasn't made 6 yet. I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. He's going to make 6. So he's going to do the big roll to 6, which is not going to be. It's going to be. Oh dear.
It's pull up too angly, hasn't it? Yeah.
It is a bit angly. It is a bit angly. Do you think he's going to do the same? Oh, he's going to go for it. Is he going to lag in front?
Great.
He's going to go for it. He's putting some top on it.
Oh
well, the clip nearly went through, but not the ball. Well,
yeah, okay. So, gee.
Now, interesting here, Alan. Would you, if you were playing red, would you go for blue, or would you just go back down to your own partner ball?
If I could see the whole of blue, I would go for blue. If there's a little bit of wire in the way, I would be a bit scared and go for yellow. So we'll see what Stephen's presented with. Looks like he can see the whole of blue, so he's going for it.
Yep. Now, there may be a time factor here as well, Alan, because, of course, these games are timed. I'm not quite sure what time this actually started. and whether or not it's critical at this stage. But just note the fact that these aren't time unlimited games.
Okay, well, that can start influencing people's decisions.
Well, this is a great view of this shot and a great view of the Croquet. Now,
it's a very difficult shot to do.
Yeah, but what's the advantage of doing it? Because he's not going to make a break with this ball now, is he? He's not going to. I mean, if you just went to your own partner ball, and I suppose he's got a chance of. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Alan?
Okay, so firstly, he stopped Callum from making one hoop, which, as you said, time could be an issue, but now he can set it up like the way he wants it to. So he will set what's a bit of a trap for Callum now. So if Callum shoots at his 2 balls and misses, Stephen should have a 3-ball break.
But by picking Callum up, he's now responsible for the position of the blue ball, which means that he's got to be very careful not to wire Callum. Otherwise, that will give Callum a lift.
That's right. But he will give Callum an option that says, if you shoot at me and miss, I'm probably going to, have a very good chance of getting a break going. So, if Callum will either lurk now or shoot at Stephen. It's a hard decision. If Callum thinks he can get a break going, it's worth shooting at him. But if he thinks that if he misses and Stephen will definitely get a break going, he wouldn't. I probably would shoot in this situation. It's not, you're not giving away too much. I don't think if you miss.
Well, one thing that I was going to say though, Alan, is that when Stephen comes through one back, he will be giving Callum a lift. So there may be an option to remain patient.
That's true.
Oh, that was close. So close. That was close. It's a really good effort, wasn't it?
It was a good effort. And so he didn't miss out much by missing that shot. And he sort of also said a little message to Stephen saying, hey, I'm going to shoot at you. No matter what, I'm shooting at you. So they can both sort of adjust their tactics accordingly.
Stephen probably had an inkling that Callum would be shooting.
I think so too.
Knowing him as he does, yeah.
He's a good judge of character. He's aware of Callum's tactics.
Okay. Well, it's useful for everyone to know now that Stephen is responsible for the position of the blue ball. So if he doesn't finish his break on this turn, if he doesn't finish the game, then he has to be careful about where he leaves his balls in relation to the view that Callum's blue ball has. Now he's shaping up here to rush to hoop 6.
Wow, good rush.
It's a good rush, and he will then obviously be on his way to start manoeuvring the break, but he has left Callum's ball behind, so he hasn't got a 3-ball break going yet.
No, but his yellow is perfectly positioned for a rush to 1 back. So he might just be able to do it with 2 balls until he can come around to the corner to include the blue again.
So the key thing to bear in mind here as he comes through that hoop, and he gets a beautiful rush on the yellow towards 1 back, is that once he's made 1 back, he will be giving Callum a lift because he pegged Callum out.
Yes, Callum doesn't give away lists because he was pegged out. You are correct.
So I'm reliably informed there's about 12 minutes left in this game. So time might start to come into it.
That's a very handy thing for Stephen as he's in front.
And yes, because it means that once he gets in front, Sorry, Alan, you carry on.
No, you can go. Yeah, no, you go.
I was just going to say that once Stephen has got his nose in front on the scoreboard, he really can just hide. He can just take wide positions and not touch Callum's blue ball at all. So he can be very,
Correct.
very patient.
And then with about a minute to go, he can peg out the forward ball as well and get an extra point and make it very hard for Callum to catch up with only 2 balls on the lawn. Yeah.
Yeah. Callum's task becomes really difficult once there are only 2 balls on the lawn. Or whoever's behind, their task becomes very difficult once there's only 2 balls on the lawn. He's having a really good think about this because I think he's very, very cognizant of, well, what if I go through here? I'm going to be giving Callum the lift, and where would I want that lift to be? Whereas if I just go for a leave here, I'm putting a lot of distance. I'm putting a whole diagonal of the court between me and Callum.
And he will be thinking about setting a big trap so that if Callum shoots, Stephen's got a definite 3-ball break. So you'll see the yellow out from the corner a fair bit and the red in the corner, I suspect.
No, he's going for the hoop.
Oh.
I was with you. I thought he'd be playing the trap in the corner, but he looks like he's going for the hoop. Oh, he's exposing himself here. He's really putting his balls out into the open, and that's not worked out brilliantly, I don't think, Alan, because he can't make the hoop now. And now although it's going to be a big trap.
I think he went for an each-way bet. It will be a trap. I think he went for an each-way bet. He said, if I don't do this, I can still set a reasonable trap. He's quite confident Callum will go for. And, of course, with only 12 minutes, Callum kind of has to spring the trap. That's what he has to do.
Yeah. Okay. So Stephen there just working out what line of trajectory Callum had and making sure that he doesn't commit the worst sin, which is to give a double to Callum, which would be terrible. So what he doesn't want to do is play a shot, is put his balls where Callum would be able to see both the yellow and the red almost in line. So he's going to put the red sort of up here so that there is no double. There's no double shot for Callum with the blue ball.
Yep. That's a very, very strong position he's got now.
It is, because what's going to happen is that Callum, if Callum shoots and misses, then red will be able to pick him up really easily. If Callum doesn't shoot, he's still going to have the opportunity of a lift shot later on. I think Callum would be unwise to shoot here. I think Callum would be better to lurk.
I think so. Yep, but he's going to lurk aggressively and put a lot of pressure on Stephen's next shot because it's an awkward distance.
It is a very awkward distance. I'd be really nervous about the distance that Stephen has to play this next shot. But having said that, playing with red, shooting it at yellow, if the red will end up on the if red shoots and misses the yellow, then it's going to end up in a position down on the south boundary, which, well, I suppose if Callum shoots blue at yellow, then suddenly that red is in where Callum wants it.
Well, only, I mean, if it's on the boundary line, that's pretty good. Yeah, you definitely want to shoot it with gusto. I think, again, it's pretty okay. When you set a trap like this, the distance you're leaving yourself is a shot you should be confident of hitting. So if Stephen misses this, he's probably should have been a bit closer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he should be thinking, I'm going to hit 9 times out of 10. You know, I mean, this is an easy distance for me. I'm going to hit 9 times out of 10.
All right. Well, here he goes. And that was one of those times.
Yeah. So that's really good.
But he's definitely not going to now try and roll up to the hoop. He's going to go off and hide somewhere.
Correct. But if Callum were to go and sit in front of his hoop, he would give away too much. So now he can do wide position. So it's good now. He can actually go, he might even try it in the middle of the court, which is brave.
It looks like he's going to. Looks like he's really looking at hoop 6 and the trajectory from blue to, so that we just mark this on the map. This line, this hoop here is could be in the way. Imagine if Stephen was to place his yellow and red there, then Callum can't see it. Now, at the moment, the yellow and the red
are distance and wire.
Yeah, distance and wire. So instead, Stephen's going to roll the balls all the way down the court.
Lovely.
And that looks lovely, doesn't it? Yep.
He's got 2 hoops to hide behind now, so it's really good.
Yep. So the line, well, oh yeah, look at that. Well, if I had the blue
worth noting the score is equal.
Get that right, couldn't I?
That's pretty good.
That's sort of what we've got, isn't it? Now, Callum is not entitled to a wiring lift because he's responsible for the position of his own ball.
Correct. And Stephen can spend 6 or 7 minutes lining this up. He won't, but he could if he wanted to make sure it's 100% right. And Callum just has to sit there and wait.
That's right. And the interesting thing is the score is 18 all, but this is where Stephen is really in the box seat because he could now hide with 30 seconds to go and then just peg out the peg ball, couldn't he?
Yes, that's correct.
And if he really wanted to do that, that would be an option. But look, he's just absolutely, he's so hidden from Callum.
Yes. If Callum did him now, Callum would need a Cairnlea lawn turn.
Well, funnily enough, there is a turn at this hoop. There is a big turn. In fact, if Callum was to shoot directly in the line of about a meter to the right of where we're looking, it could well curve in and hit those. That would be an incredible thing. He's not going to risk that, of course, but
I was about to say that would be very brave. That's even braver than Callum. So he's lurked on it's known as what's called the small wire rather than the fat wire or the narrow wire.
Yeah.
So it's harder for Stephen to hide behind a hoop because he's only got the horizontal rather than the sort of Yeah, no, good point. That's a great point, Alan. That when you're looking north-south on these lawns, the hoops are fat and wide, but when you're looking east-west, they're very narrow. So Callum is going off to the western boundary there, so that there's much fewer places for Stephen to hide. Now, Stephen hiding at Callum's hoop is a little bit more risky, isn't it? Yes, but I think Callum is at the other end at hoop 6 still.
Oh, he's yes, that's right. Yes, he is. Yes, you're sorry, you're right. I was back in the past thinking. Callum was still on hoop 4.
Interestingly, Stephen's giving himself a rush up the lawn, so he must have a pretty good wire there.
Yeah.
If he's thinking about the rush up the lawn, so
that's a good point.
Good for Stephen. Not so good for Callum, but good for Stephen.
Well, and he's still going to give a lift shot away after he's made one back. So Callum can afford to be patient. He's going to have a free shot at some stage. He doesn't need to take this shot now. Even if he can see some of Stephen and he looks like he's going to shoot at it by the way he's looking. Looks as though the moment Stephen puts these balls down, he's going to leap up and shoot. But I can't understand why he wouldn't wait a little while.
I think the 12-minute time thing is now down to about 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Oh,
yeah. Oh, in fact, I think it's even less now. I think it's 12:42. It goes. I think we've only got 2 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, the break's on now for Stephen if he wants it. So that was Yeah. Maybe you're right, Alan. What Callum was thinking was that the time was ticking quite quickly, and that he'd have to make a play.
Yeah, I think he had no
Yeah.
choice, which is a shame
Yeah,
because it's falling to Stephen's lap nicely now.
It is a shame, because the beauty of the 2v1 is when there is unlimited time, and you get those two lift shots. But Stephen now will look to make the hoops at the end. He doesn't, in a sense, he doesn't need to do it, because with 1 minute left, he could just put the forward ball onto the peg.
Well, put it this way: winning by one is nice and is good, but when you're playing Callum could hit you and then beat you. You know what I mean? Whereas if Stephen takes this 26, then he's won. Callum doesn't get another shot, even though time will run out.
Yeah.
Callum's good enough to make a 2-ball break. He could do 2 or 3 crazy shots, and then he would. It's possible, you could lose the game if you give him another chance. So, unfortunately, you have to.
And also,
just rely on him.
Steve, when you're as ice cool as Stephen in these situations, you're not going to be worried about making a 3-ball break now. Your opponent has given you a 3-ball break, and you're going to take it. I mean, you're good enough, and you're composed enough to do it. So there's no point in hiding away and just trying to sneak that little front ball victory. It's now.
Yes, you don't get into the max squad by
no.
That's right. Not brave, and not taking your opportunities when you get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, he might be going conservative here.
Yeah. Well, he's. I don't know whether the bell has gone.
Maybe it has. Maybe the bell did go, and it's just a matter of getting hoops.
Yeah. So you think that maybe just picking up these 2 hoops and then, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether the bell has gone and. Oh no, he's missed it.
Oh wow.
He's missed it. He's missed a 1-yard rotate. He's given away a lift. Oh my goodness! I can't believe it. Wow. Incredible stuff. That's amazing. I'd.
Wow.
So Callum can pick up the blue ball, and he has a free shot now. Amazing.
Turn it into a double to make sure.
Yeah. You just wouldn't imagine that, would you?
What? Okay, I just want to check.
So I can hear Kate on the line. So
yes,
Kate
here.
Patrick, our producer, and it's coming at a very exciting moment. Kate, Callum shoots.
Oh, absolutely! And misses.
Oh, well, it's a bit of fortune for Stephen there.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yes, this is the most exciting game.
So there's still time.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Kate.
So, Kate, do we know how long there is? You said 12:42 the bell would go.
He must have one more shot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he is. It's.
Oh, it might be golden hoop.
No, I think he's got 7. The scoreboard's not quite correct, is it? Because Stephen came through 1 back, so.
I think it might be golden hoop.
You think so? I don't. Yeah,
they're both on 18.
And well, if it was golden hoop, he's won
Oh.
now. If the time has gone, we're not quite sure whether the time has gone.
Yeah. Doesn't look like time's gone.
If time hasn't gone, the referee will need to come out and
coming on because of a hampered shot. Hampered shot going on here. So this is the Victorian coordinator of refereeing, Brian Foley, marking the red ball because Stephen's shot is really quite hampered.
I think what we're a little bit confused about now, Kate, is if the bell has gone and Stephen is ahead and Callum has had his last turn, why we're still going?
Well, I guess he can make as many hoops as he wants.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Very nice shot. Anyway.
We'll just have to wait and watch.
Adjust the position of the balls on here.
The markers are hard to see. And blend into the surroundings. Well, certainly an exciting game anyway, from a score point of view.
A 2v1 battle is always fantastic. It's always brilliant. Such a lot to talk about with respect to the tactics, the strategy. Yeah, I suspect the game is over because Stephen wouldn't be bothered taking a hoop like that in this situation if it wasn't. But we'll soon find out whether or not there's.
Just a right of
all right, so well played. I'm just going to leave you for a moment, Kate. I will hand over to you for a second.
So, Kate, do you know which game we'll be watching next? Oh, okay. All right. So, they're just going to clear the lawn now and ready themselves for the next game. They'll all be talking about how they played each other and what they could have done differently. Usually very good sportsmanship showed at the end of the croquet game. And what Brian's doing now is checking all the hoops to make sure they are still ridiculously tight. The ball is usually 1/16 of an inch less wide than the hoop in these competition matches. So it really is quite hard to run a hoop. Looks easy from the TV. But, quite good from our point of view. So my co-host is having some connection issues, but we're doing very well, looking out, seeing what's going to happen next. That's okay, Kate. We're doing well. From a point of view of the tournament, I'm not sure what that result will mean. We'll just see if we can jump onto the excellent Croquet Scores website on our computer or my little mobile phone and see what's going on with that, to see how that affects the tournament. I suspect Robert Fletcher's in first position, but the battle for second must be pretty tense. So we'll just refresh the Croquet Scores website. Stephen Forster was on 3 wins, so that'll take him to 4 wins. And Callum Hyland was on 4 wins before that one. So that was, from a tournament point of view, a very good win for Stephen. Callum's last opponent will be Kevin Beard, I believe. And Robert will be playing Stephen Forster. So that win will help Stephen's case for coming second. So a good result for Stephen. Excellently done. I wonder which game we're going to go see next. 1 versus 2, Stephen Forster versus Kevin Beard. Maybe even possibly Kevin Beard versus Callum Highland. I'm not sure which one we'll get to see in the next coverage, but that will happen soon. And we'll go from there. Welcome to all the people out there watching us, whether you're first-time viewers or whether you're seasoned croquet players. Gareth's innovation of the playing map has been very helpful from a commentary point of view. I hope you found it interesting. He does a good job tracking the ball and talking, so finding it well. So, being Victorians, Stephen Forster is an avid Collingwood supporter, as am I. And there was a brief period where I had entertained the concept that I might be the only Collingwood supporting good player of croquet until I met Stephen, and then I was unfortunately found out that he was a Collingwood supporter, which is great from a Collingwood point of view, but for my ego, not so good. Anyway, one of those little things you like to do. So soon I'll be passing the commentary over to Carrie Ann Orban, who croquet people will know very good. Well, my partner, and she's actually an excellent croquet player in her own right, having successfully represented Victoria and New South Wales in the state teams. I've only ever done it for one state, but Carrie Ann's lucky to have done it for both states. Well, it sounds like we might be getting some other people commentating again soon, which will be good. My ability to pad is being stretched, but I'm working on it.
So, hello, Alan. I'm back again, and
thank you, Gary.
gather that you've been given fill-in duties for the last couple of minutes.
Yes, it's sort of thrust upon me, but that's okay.
It's quite tricky, isn't it? Well, I think now would be a good time to chat about the person who is who after whom the competition is named, Brian Reither, who we all know as croquet players for the amazing work that he does behind the scenes to run tournaments. I don't know whether you can see this picture on your screen, Alan, but
I can
you might
see that picture.
recognize
That is amazing.
A couple of the suspects on there. It's incredible,
Malcolm
isn't
and Robert
it?
Fletcher or Greg
Yeah,
and Robert?
that's right.
I'm not sure. That's astounding. They're all so young.
I think it's Malcolm. Yeah. Isn't that amazing to think that Robert was already a most accomplished player with at that tender age, and of course Brian had a big part in Robert's development. So in this particular photo, I believe this is of the team that the three of them made back in the day, the regional AC championships in 2006, and as you say, the other players there were Robert and Malcolm as very young players. So Brian led that Ballarat team to success in 2006 with those upstarts, and he's seen them grow into the incredible players that they are. So as I said,
yes.
Brian has served in so many roles over the years, and it's incredibly fitting that this tournament is named after him. He's actually doing the behind-the-scenes organisation at his own tournament as well.
So he's managing the tournament, is he?
Well, I believe so. He's managed the World Championships in 2009, 2012, and 2017. But he's not just an organizer. He's actually got an extremely respectable ranking. He was up to 64 in 2010 before his tournament managing duties took over. So we mainly know him as this tour de force of tournament choreography, but in fact, he really is a very accomplished player in his own right.
I like the term tournament choreography. That
Yeah,
certainly makes
well,
it
it
sound
is.
very
It is choreography, organising all those demanding croquet players, and croquet is also, because the games themselves can finish early, can drag on for ages after the bell. To be able to organise a croquet tournament is really quite taxing. So Brian does that, absolutely beautifully. So
Yes.
I believe that we're going to go and have a look at some of the play from yesterday. I'm not sure whether that's coming up on the screen for us to talk about, but it was a very successful day for Robert yesterday. He had this. I think this is now a replay of yesterday. So, Alan, maybe you mentioned actually that Kerry-Ann might be joining us for a stint in the commentary box.
Yes. I'm about to hand over to Kerry-Ann. The knowledge of the game is
brilliant.
excellent. Fine person.
Okay. Well,
So,
thank you very much for your. Lovely to have you with us, and welcome, Kerry-Ann.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Hello, Gareth. Hello, all.
Yeah. Good morning. Oh, I should say good afternoon, Kerry-Ann. It's now the afternoon.
Time.
What we're doing here is watching a repeat of the game between Robert and Josh Wilson from yesterday. We've got to sit. This will allow us to take our viewers through some of the interesting little fine points of break making and strategy. Did you manage to catch this game yesterday, Kerry-Ann, or is this will you be seeing this for the first time?
I'll be seeing this for the first time. Unfortunately, I couldn't catch it. Playing croquet myself on the lawn yesterday. So.
How did you go?
Pretty good. Still warming up and loosening those muscles after COVID.
Well, I know it's it's funny because it's not just the shot making that's a bit rusty, but also I've just noticed with the commentary that your sort of appreciation of some of the patterns and the strategies are a little bit rusty as well. I found when I was going over that with Alan just now, the 2v1 with Alan just now, I was thinking, oh yeah, of course that's what they should be doing, and it was only occurring to me a little bit afterwards because it's slightly out of sync. But what we've got here is I think we flicked back over to today, have we? We've now got I think we've stopped doing the replay, and now we're looking at a game now. A game about to start on court 1. Do you recognise who that is, Kerry-Ann, coming on there?
Stephen Forster playing against Robert Fletcher.
Aha, it's Stephen against Robert. Okay, so Stephen has. I'll update my little map and see if we can get that going. And it's Stephen against Robert. Okie doke. So Stephen playing his first ball into a fairly traditional spot. Do you think Robert is looking for a duffer here, or is he looking for a corner 2, do you think?
I think corner 2. There you go. Just outside corner 2.
Yeah. Okay. So Robert playing, which I think is the black ball, over to just outside corner 2. And Stephen
that'd be
now.
The red ball.
Oh, was it the red?
Playing, yeah, Stephen's playing blue and black.
He is, yeah. I'm sorry. So it'll be the red.
That's okay.
I couldn't pick up the colour. But yes, I should have known it was at least the red should have known it was at least the red or the yellow.
That's okay. So Stephen, hitting from B-book, north boundary, shooting at his own ball.
Yeah, long way down the eastern boundary. Shoots. Looks good. Oh, looks good. Yes, hits.
Well done. Good shot.
Well, it was a good shot. Because of the position of Robert's ball, he doesn't really get a tremendous return from it, though, does he, Carrie-Anne?
No, not really. But pretty sure he'll take off to Robert's ball in corner 2 and then move Robert's ball in court and maybe set. Not too sure.
Yeah, so it becomes a bit like the position you see after a lift shot or just before a lift shot is taken.
Yeah. So this is quite difficult because hoop 2 can be in the way.
Yes.
You just have to judge the speed of the court and a lot of factors to take in consideration.
So as Carrie-Anne was saying, the hoop 2 can get in the way. He manages to navigate hoop 2 and nestles up next to Robert's red ball. So very nicely executed. And as Carrie-Anne said, what we might expect to happen now is for that red ball to be pumped into the center of the lawn, long way away from Robert's next shot, but in beautiful position for Stephen to be able to make a break. So I suppose I was wrong to say that there wasn't a big advantage in Stephen hitting that Croquet earlier on, because of course he can actually engineer quite a nice situation for himself.
That's the name of the game, hitting. You can't croquet if you don't roquet.
No. So the red ball exactly where you'd expect it after setting a leave, sort of a couple of yards in from the western boundary. And now the blue ball played over, probably ideally to give himself a rush in court, and even more ideally a rush at that red ball.
Yes, nice rush in court. Stephen's goal.
So we're literally in a position now where it's like Stephen had made a break and Robert has chosen to pick up the yellow ball and has got to decide whether he's going to take the lift shot from A balk or B balk. What would you do here, Carrie-Anne?
Oh, it depends on how you're feeling. But how confident and how well you're playing, conditions.
Well, he's chosen to take what we call the shorter shot, yeah?
Yeah, correct. So shooting from the south boundary from A balk to one of Stephen's balls. Because if he hits this, he's got a break.
That's right. So as ever, pacing, stalking, very deliberate. The shot routine's always the same. If he doesn't like what he sees, he just steps back and does it again.
And it's all about the routine to make everything seamless. So all you have to concentrate is hitting that ball, not, what are my legs doing? What are my mouth doing? What's my hands doing? That's all just set. That's just all muscle memory.
Oh, and right in the middle. Oh,
yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely in the middle of the ball. Absolutely perfect. So now we've got a situation where Robert has the distinct advantage. The lawn is absolutely in a sort of regulation position that he would have practiced and executed many thousands of times before. So maybe an opportunity for us to say something about these two players. Robert, as we know, is the world number 1, previous world champion. Stephen, an exceptionally accomplished player, has played for Australia at the highest level on many occasions, and of course, most famously, as part of the winning Robertson Cup a few years ago. And you've played both of these players, I'm sure, many times, Kerry-Ann, in the past, and of course, you would have been on the same state team as them for several years as well.
Yeah, and that's a yes to both questions. But don't ask how many wins I've had off them. That'd be zero.
It must have been incredible for you to have been on the same team as these guys, and for them to have sort of given you tips and for you to have experienced that just their energy and their passion rubbing off on you.
Yeah, definitely. And watching them play, you learn by osmosis. You're watching their ball movements, the way they carry themselves on the lawn, the way they do each shot. You get an insight into their psychology because you're in the same team, so you're preview to what they're thinking. So
I guess another thing that must have been fantastic for you is that both of them are just masters of the sort of 2v1 game, that sort of tactical thing that we just saw in the last game, Stephen against Callum. And so, that's something that a lot of croquet players take quite a long time to experience, but you would have had exposure to that, by dint of working with these players at a much earlier stage.
Yeah, definitely, and exposed to that in our state practice, training weekends, and we're just watching. That's a great hoop there.
Robert nicely through, and he gets a forward rush, so things could not be going better for him at the beginning of this break. So Robert playing with what looks like a more old-fashioned mallet than most players are using these days. Do you know much about it, Kerry-Ann?
I believe Robert actually made it himself, so it's not as old as you think. He's converted to a wooden mallet because of the new balls. He's finding the brass ends or the newer mallets, you can't really feel the ball through the mallet, if that makes sense. Like he's not getting the reaction. Yeah, and he's finding with the wooden mallet now, you can sort of get the feel of the balls better.
Okay, right. Well, that's I can see that. There's for these players at this level, the sort of tactile sense that they get from that mallet ball contact obviously plays a big part in the way that they finesse things. So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
So Robert now with a regulation break ahead of him, playing the Roquet to approach hoop 3, now playing the croquet shot that will place his yellow ball in front of the hoop and the red ball just beyond it.
And the aim of the game is to get up nice to the hoop so you can just have more control and look for the rush out.
Well, through there very nicely. And he can rush this red to wherever he pleases.
Go for blue, I think.
But it looks like he's going to take the blue. That'll generate him a little bit more space, won't it?
Yes. The top players, as you said before, like to play with all the balls in court, but sometimes you can get quite too tight, too close.
Yes.
So hitting it a little bit further out enables you to move the two balls, the croquet ball and your striker's ball at the same time into different positions.
Well, he's played that shot, leaving the blue sort of almost in the jaws of 6. Obviously not an issue for him at the moment, but it's the sort of thing that if I ever do that, that starts to prey on my mind. I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But of course it won't affect Robert.
Well, it's the ability to change from a 4-ball break to a 3-ball break without even thinking about it. That's the skill there.
Sliding the red over to hoop 5 is the pioneer, and then coming in to finesse the position of the black in front of hoop 4. The greens at Cairnlea have certainly got a bit of character, Kerry-Ann. We've seen a few wiggles over this weekend. This hoop in particular has got some character. The players, though, seem to be finding it a bit easier now that the rain has stopped and the conditions seem to be quite nice there now.
Well, the wind has dropped, so it's one less factor that you have to think about. I think the lawns have been scarified recently, like within the last month or so. So that is a factor.
Yes, well, a fortnight ago we were here for the Owen Edwards Golf Croquet Challenge, which was also broadcast on KO. And the scarification in the lawns were fresh, and the balls were literally following some of the channels. It was really challenging for the players. At the moment, though, the grass has grown into those troughs, and there's now much less of a problem. So the hoop approaches they can be a lot more confident with. They can get within 6 inches of the hoop, and they're finding that to be quite routine. One thing that our viewers who joined us for the golf croquet might be wondering is the difference between association and golf croquet in the way that the players view the hoop running. In the golf croquet, people are taking shots from 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters out. And in the association, you very rarely see that happen. The players like to have the ball sort of just a few centimeters off the front of the hoop.
It's because in golf croquet, if you miss the hoop, it's not as disastrous as it is in AC. And also in association croquet that we're watching now, you're wanting to run a nice, smooth, controlled hoop. And at an elite level like this, that enables you to get a rush out of a hoop, which makes your break continuation much easier.
Well, Robert is going to deal with that blue that was slightly misplaced by being nicely on the northern side of it, and he'll be able to chip it out, and that will immediately rectify that little problem. And he chips it through the hoop, so it's now on the right side. So all going very well for him at the moment. So he'll be thinking of the leave that he's going to engineer. He's got his own partner ball, the red ball, down at 2 back, which is what perhaps gives him the most options to think about. Kerry-Ann, we saw Robert doing a mainly new standard leave, an NSL leave on the first day, but he's got slightly into a little bit of unlucky sort of collisions in the first game we covered today, and he sort of ended up doing a bit more of a sort of the sort of thing that I would do, a sort of an OSL. So let's see what he does now. Do you have a particular leave that you like to do?
I generally do a diagonal spread or a diagonal leave, which means leaving the opponent ball around south of hoop 2 and the other ball at the peg, so they're wide through the peg. And then my 2 balls on the east boundary with a rush into the lawn. Either that or a 2-4 lead, so leaving a opponent ball at hoop 2 and the other ball at hoop 4, and then setting up on the east boundary again. So yeah, generally those 2 leaves.
Well, this one certainly looks like what you were saying before. One of the opponent's balls on the western boundary, that's the black ball, and the blue ball will be sent over to 3-back. And then it will become a question of whether Robert decides how Robert engineers the position of that blue ball after he's been through 3-back. But of course, as we know, he's going to be playing the yellow to near the red on this shot, because that's the hoop he needs to make next. The blue ball on its way to 3-back. See the clips on top of the hoops there. Those clips indicate which hoop is the next in turn for each player.
And generally you'd make 2-back, which is this hoop Robert's going for, off your partner ball. This enables you to make 3-back off the opponent ball, which enables the lead to be carried out easier. You want to make 3-back off your opposition ball, the opponent ball, so you can use your partner ball at the last thing.
That's right. So the very last sort of rush and croquet shot that you take, you really want those to be off your own partner ball as part of the process of just engineering the subtlety of the final placement. You want to make sure that the position of your opponent's balls has been well established before you get to that stage. Now, the way this is going at the moment, it looks like Robert's going to try what we call a new standard leave, which will leave the blue ball against or very close to the leg of this hoop in such a position that it cannot take a swing at either of Robert's balls, but in a position that it can be rushed to hoop 1 later on. So it all gets very fine in the placement here. Yeah, the blue ball goes off to the right. Crucial that the yellow ball doesn't touch the red going through there, otherwise that limits your opportunities a little bit. So maybe if we could have the mini map shown on the big screen, I could just show the viewers what Robert is attempting to do just before he does it. He's attempting to leave the blue ball against the hoop in such a position that the blue ball cannot swing at the red and yellow, because there's no room for the mallet to move. So this shot that I'm showing with the line is not possible for the blue to do. So that's what Robert's attempting. So let's see how he manages to maneuver the blue into that position. So we can put the mini map back to where it was. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great shot.
isn't it?
Yes, that would have been me. I would have croqueted blue.
Yes, if it would be me, I'd have rotated the blue so it would have ended up directly south of the hoop, and therefore absolutely impossible to put into a hidden position. So this is now where, yeah.
He'll stop shot blue onto the leg, or just sitting outside, not outside, just off the leg. And then he'll turn around and go back to red.
I believe that Robert has a cheeky option in his repertoire, which actually involves putting the blue into the hoop, which means that it's not rushable, but he can then engineer it out as part of the next sequence of play. So, but we're not going to see that on this occasion. We're going to see the blue just beautifully placed in a position where Stephen will not be able to attack the yellow and red balls, and yeah, perfect. Look at that. You cannot attempt to take a shot on the blue at the red because the wire of the hoop is in the way. Nice camera.
And that was a great. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Beautiful camera work.
So the other little subtlety here is that the red has a rush on the yellow towards the black. So the red ball has a shot along that trajectory towards the black. So Stephen, whatever he picks up is going to be a challenge.
So Stephen has an option shooting down from the north boundary from B block through red, or he can shoot at his own ball, but I definitely take this shot through red.
Well, yeah, so this shot I think means that Robert has to do a delayed triple peel, and which is slightly more tricky than the standard, but it does mean that Stephen has a longer shot.
Yes, but
he shoots.
If he misses, which he unfortunately has, he's not giving an immediate breakaway.
So Stephen's ball will be replaced in corner 4, and Robert will rush the yellow ball over to the western boundary. Now, one of our viewers asked why Robert would have stopped after hoop 9. Why would he do that? Well, we saw a good example of that in the previous game, where in the previous game, one of the players advanced their ball beyond hoop 9, and it was seized upon by their opponent, who pegged it out. So that was one reason why you wouldn't do that. The other reason is that there are 2 hoops on the lawn which are what we call penalty hoops. That's 1 back, number 7, and 4 back, number 10. And if you go through one of those hoops, you give your opponent a lift shot. But if you go through 2 on the same turn, then you give your opponent something more severe, something that we call contact. And contact is where you can pick up your ball and place it next to any other ball on the lawn. So players will generally choose to stop their break at after hoop 9. But for players of this standard, that's not an impediment for them finishing in 2 turns, because they can do a maneuver that we'll surely see Robert try now, the triple peel.
A beautiful rush to hoop 1. It's just loaded hoop 2.
Perfect, isn't it? Perfect position.
look at that wind in the background. You can see flags.
Yeah. And that
And
little
they're the conditions
clanky
playing against.
click of the balls sending the black towards hoop 1. And Robert now to start his second break. So now what we'll be looking for Robert to do is to pick up that blue ball in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, what we call corner 4. And Robert has been playing with some pace all weekend, Cairnlea. It's been quite interesting to see, particularly in the first game against Josh Wilson, how fast he was playing. He's normally considered to be an extremely thoughtful and careful player who really takes his time, but he's been playing with some amazing cadence and momentum. A sign that he's really feeling very confident about his play.
Yes. Robert and I have played. I think it might have been our first game. And I think the whole game was over within about 36 minutes. So I didn't do anything wrong. I put my ball on first. He did 9. He set the 3 little ducks leave on the west boundary. I had to play my other ball that wasn't on the lawn yet, hit it from A balk, aiming it at the 3 little ducks, missed, and he just proceeded to go around with a triple peel and finished. So the games usually are timed at 2.5 hours, but that only took 36 minutes. So there you go.
Yes, and of course, Robert holds the record for the world's fastest triple peel, albeit in rather contrived circumstances. There was a little unofficial competition on YouTube where some of the most exciting croquet players in the world all vied to do a triple from a set position, and Robert did his in just a few minutes. So that was just goes to show how quick it could all be. When they have to do it that way. Now with this next shot, Cairnlea, he'll be looking to load hoop 4, but probably a little bit long. I think when they come out of hoop 4, because they'll be picking up that blue, they want the yellow to be a little bit further down. So I've preempted that on the little mini map by showing where I predict the balls will end.
Yes, because as Robert comes out of hoop 3 after making the hoop, he may, I'm just predicting it as you do, do a takeoff. Well, this is what I do a takeoff down to blue to the corner, and then doing with a croquet shot, loading 5, going to the yellow ball for hoop 4.
Well, let's see where that yellow goes. It's just gone off our picture now, so I'm not sure where it ended up. I'll just leave it nebulously floating around hoop 4, but I think it might have gone a little bit further. Oh, there it is. That's not a bad guess.
Yeah, very good.
Give myself 8.5 out of 10 for that.
Oh, come on. What about 9?
Well, okay. Should be able to get a little rush down with the black. That's what he really wants, because we don't like playing that takeoff shot, do we, Cairnlea? That's a bit of a nervous shot to take off the blue. You'd rather have the rush down there, which he's got.
Yeah, I generally don't get
thinking. Yeah, is he? He's going to play the rush down there. Yeah, there it goes. That certainly makes the next shot a little less knee knocking, because I think probably the one of the most nervous shots in croquet is to take off from hoop 3 down to corner 4, because you're either worried that you're going to leave it short, or you're worried that you're going to go out. But this shot is a lot more easy to handle. He gives us a standard split shot, sending the black to hoop 5 and the red ball to near corner 4.
And then he'll rotate blue in corner 4, and then stop shot it back up to 4 back as the escape ball.
So you'll have noticed, our viewers will have noticed that when the ball either goes off the court or goes to a position that is just a meter away from the line, it's actually marked on to an imaginary line that we call the yard line. So every player knows where a yard is on their mallet, and they know that when a ball needs to be marked back on, they know that where that ball is marked on to. So as Carrie-Anne said, what's going to happen now is that the blue ball is going to be sent up to hoop 3, and that will be a ball that Robert will use as the escape ball. So he hasn't sent it all the way up, though, I don't think, Carrie-Anne. It's only got about halfway up.
That's okay. Your main priority is to get that rush on yellow to make hoop 4. So with any triple peel turn, your main priority is keeping your break going, so not breaking down.
Yes, it would have been quite easy to have got a bit greedy there and tried to get the blue all the way up at the risk of getting a perfect position on the yellow. But as Carrie-Anne said, the important thing is to get this hoop and to get the rush on the yellow back up the park. In fact, even better really, Carrie-Anne, because now he doesn't have to rush the yellow so far, does he? He only has to rush the yellow up about 10 meters or so, because then he's placing the yellow with a croquet shot, with a sort of straight drivey shot.
Yes, and you get more accuracy after a croquet shot than a rush loading. Yeah, so he'll be able to put the yellow exactly where he wants it, put the blue exactly where he wants it. I think that rush up the lawn with yellow, just spray just a touch. I think it would have been ideal if it was a little bit straighter.
Now you can always tell when Robert's in super concentration mode because he touches his cap. And
yes,
played that to
everyone's got their own little habits and tics, or little.
So little tell.
Yeah.
What is your particular little tell that you're in super concentration mode on the croquet lawn?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, that's right. You'd have to ask somebody
myself.
else, really, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's right. We'd have to ask somebody else what our own little little mannerism was when we were.
That's the word, mannerism.
Really concentrating. So Roberts is definitely the touch of the cap. And also I've noticed the occasional turning round to look at the ball that didn't go quite in the position that he was expecting it to go, as if he's admonishing the ball and saying, you really shouldn't be there. I didn't plan to put you there.
Maybe that's one of mine. don't know.
Yeah.
So he's left yellow, his PLE up there with the escape ball blue.
That's right. And
With
that
the
escape
takeoff
ball
he's
is also...
coming down. Nice hoop approach in front of the hoop, nice and straight.
And just like in snooker, there's nothing that the opponent can do while the player is on the lawn. You just have to sit there and watch and either admire what they're doing or secretly hope that they stop.
Oh, you have a mantra. My turn to hit, my turn to hit.
Yes, that's right. Sending the black over now to the eastern boundary.
And then he'll use the black to load one back. Getting a position on yellow.
So depending on the position that he gets for the peel, we may well find ourselves discussing the subject of pull and the effect that the grooves on the ball have on the trajectory of the peelee. But this really at the moment is a model in how to do a triple peel. It's hard to see any shot that hasn't been played to textbook description standards.
And that's what AC Croquet is about, is learning the patterns, working the patterns, and using the patterns to your own strengths.
So Robert getting down and checking the trajectory of the ball. He actually had 5 goes at making this hoop yesterday. It was really interesting because he had a slight angle each time, and he was having to adjust for the pull of the balls. And each time the striations in the lawn and the wetness of the balls were giving rather unexpected results. I think the conditions are a lot more consistent now, just this wind that we've observed. And now he plays into the jaws, and now he will rush the blue ball towards hoop 6. Again, he's sort of looking at that yellow and going, I'm not sure that you should be there, but that's perfectly fine. Being in the jaws is okay, isn't it, Carrie-Anne?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he was, but I would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't think it's a disadvantage to have the ball in the jaws at all.
No, because once you make hoop 6, you can have a rush out of the hoop towards yellow again. Or probably a rush to corner 3, promoting blue back in while going to yellow to have another go at peeling it.
Yes, there's certainly. It was, in fact, in the first game, he did have the ball in the jaws, but he found himself on his striker ball on the wrong side of it, so he couldn't peel it through. So that was one of the reasons why he took five turns to do that. So anyway, let me just adjust the position of these things on the map here. So just a few centimeters out of hoop 6, through it goes. And as you said, he'll get the rush over the blue, or maybe even decide to just touch it and leave it there and take off to the yellow. Let's see what he does. He knocks it over. And as Kerry-Ann said, the important thing now is that he needs to put the red into such a position that it can knock the yellow through the hoop. A rush peel, as we would call it.
So he'd probably send blue back over to hoop 6, which is then the escape ball for a potential peel on penalt. So he'll hit yellow through, so peeling yellow, and then in a croquet shot, he'll put yellow to penalt, going to the black ball at 1 back.
Okay.
I hope.
Well, so he could either decide to put the yellow by penalt, or he could send the yellow down to 2 back, because he's got plenty of time to do the penalt peel.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
yep.
could be either way. But whatever, the red ball has to go by the black, because he's now dead on both the blue and the yellow ball. So whatever happens here, the red ball is going to where the black is, in the top left-hand corner of the screen. I think he's shaping to put this down to 2 back. It looks like, although no, he's getting down low. He's getting down low. No, he's hitting it to 2 back. Yeah.
Well, again, that just shows you need to load a hoop ahead to keep your break going.
Yeah.
Because he can, once he's made 2 back, you can rush yellow back up into the penalt position. Yep. He's got a nice
Well, we saw Robert do a death roll in the first game today. So we might have another opportunity to show our viewers what we mean by a death roll, where the peeled ball is peeled through penultimate at the same time as the striker ball goes down to the pioneer at 2 back. But at the moment, we're not quite sure what Robert's plans are.
running the hoop, I think.
Running the hoop. Running the hoop is certainly the priority. And through he goes. And he's managed to come out, spit out to the side, which means that he doesn't have a rush down the lawn, but instead a rush up towards the blue. Now, this is quite interesting. Classically in a break, you'd want a pioneer at 3 back.
He'll rush blue down though to 2 back, and then stop shot at 2-3 back as the pioneer. While stopping at yellow.
And the position of that black there gives a clear indication that he's planning to peel penultimate around the time that he's going to make 4 back. Okay, so the blue down in the corner. Just makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, beautiful to watch.
Well, it is, but you always just get the impression that because it looks so easy, that it must be easy. So when you go down on the lawn yourself and you think, oh, well, I can do that, you suddenly realize it isn't as easy as it looks. But like all great
I always get
experts, they just, it's seductive, isn't it?
yeah. It's like, oh, you look so good on the lawn. It's like, yeah, you don't know what was going on inside. It's the duck syndrome, you know, gliding,
Yes.
calm presentation, but underneath you're paddling for your life.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So Robert's loaded 3-back.
He has, just as you said. Yep.
Yep. Nice hip approach in front of the hoop. So he'll be looking for a rush out of this hoop on yellow to rush it up, back up to the lawn to black.
Yep, just gets a little kiss on the yellow, which means that he doesn't get the luxury of that rush that Carrie-Anne was predicting. But he can roll it up there. He can split shot it up there, going to the blue. What do you think he'll do, Carrie-Anne?
Let me have a look. Okay, so he's going to roll them both up.
He's going to roll them up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a pass roll. You see how the acceleration of the red ball there was just that little bit extra. It's gone a little bit further than the yellow ball. A very, very important skill to have. It's what we call a pass roll. And very difficult to do over the 25 yards or so that Robert has just done it. But he does it with such grace and ease. Now clonking the black down. And as Carrie-Anne observed earlier, as she mentioned earlier, the players at this level will often choose to do a rush down the lawn so that they can replace the ball with a croquet shot, because that gives them more precision than a rush, and also is better than doing a takeoff. So it is interesting, isn't it, Carrie-Anne, that when you're learning the game, you tend to do a lot of takeoffs. But these players at this level, they like to rush and then reset with the sort of drive shot that Robert's about to do now.
If you can get your rushes nice and tidy, it's such a powerful shot, because this has allowed Robert to come up to blue. Instead of doing a takeoff when you have to come down past blue to hit it, in this shot, he's enabled himself to reposition black, as you just said, into a better position, then rolling up to blue, nice and close to hit blue and to make a nice hoop.
And there it goes. So it will appear to the viewers that black is almost going to exactly where it was a couple of strokes ago. But as all of the things that Carrie-Anne said are absolutely true. He's been able to completely refine the position of the black, so exactly where he wants it, and he get a better approach on the blue as well. Well, Carrie-Anne, it's been fantastic to have you in the commentary booth. We're going to be joined in a minute by Rosie Landry. someone who has been would have been a fierce competitor in your battles of Victoria and New South Wales in the past, but now you find yourself on the same team.
Yes, it's an interesting turnaround, but it's all good. It's fantastic playing different states and different people. You learn so much.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been. But we were talking earlier about how lucky you were to play with Stephen Forster and Robert here, of course. But now you've also got the extra bonus of the Landreebs and co. So absolutely amazing. I must move interstate myself sometime.
You should try it. I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, we'll say goodbye to you, and we'll welcome Rosie to the commentary box. Good afternoon, Rosie. Rosie, hopefully joining us as Robert prepares to come in with this roll shot. So good afternoon, Rosie. Well, Robert rolls the red to striking distance of the yellow, but keeps the blue well out of harm's way. And now his job is to try and put that yellow, rush that yellow so that it ends up in front of penultimate. It ends up in front of the hoop. So slightly tricky. Yellow a little bit more out of position than yellow. Rosie, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Okay, so you're going to laugh. I was on mute. Thank you very much in the background for everybody. I've got Zoomitis, I think, like most people.
Yes, that's right.
Hello.
So,
hi,
Robert,
Gareth. How are you?
Yeah, good. So Robert not being able to get in front, get the yellow ball directly in front of penultimate for here. So he's just going to have to take off to get ideal position on the black to make 4 back, and then he'll be coming back. But we've been watching a textbook triple peel, Rosie. I hope you've been enjoying it.
I have. Absolutely gorgeous, and what we sort of expect, particularly the positioning now where he has that yellow, as you see, he's got in a nice handy position to do a double if he wants to do it at penult. So that's lovely. Is he already at? Has he done the peel at penult?
No, he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah,
so
he's going to finish with the double. Look like it.
So we've just got the ladder up. You can see here that Robert, even if he was to lose this game, would not lose the overall lead. And those net hoops that he has at the moment are pretty awesome, aren't they? They're 130 plus on the hoop difference. So. But
don't you find that he will also want to win this game in the best possible way he can? And I think that's what most of these players are about, regardless of their position on the ladder. Robert will be using this as technique and warming up and all sorts of things for his next foray. So, yes, you'll find that his concentration level will be super tight in anticipation of, making sure that he finishes this whole event in the best way he can.
Well, like all true champions, as you say, Robert takes every single stroke in every single game as seriously as if it is the peg out in the World Championships.
He does. He does. That doesn't mean he's uptight either, which is really interesting. If you were to walk out onto the lawn now and say to Robert, do you need a drink of water? In the middle, he'd go, oh, yeah, whatever. No, yes, whatever. It doesn't upset his equilibrium. He's amazingly focused on the job at hand, but not so to the point where he's, got anxious about it or anything. It's lovely patterning, which is what he says. It's a beautiful pattern to play.
Yeah, and a sign of amazing confidence and concentration that you can actually have that multitasking thing happening as well. That you're able to dedicate some of your operating system to just work on the croquet.
100%. He, you know, and I think that is a thing of a true champion, and we talk about it a lot, is the ability, we talk a lot about focusing and focusing hard and not having your focus interrupted. But the true sign of mental strength, I think, in the game is that if you're able to still be as focused and as patterned as Robert is, but be aware of what's going on outside. I mean, you don't have to be, but it's just a discipline to show how well you can concentrate when you need to, even if you're in the zone, as they say.
So Rosie, faced with this penultimate peel here, what would you looking to Irish peel this? Are you looking to knock the yellow ball through first and then pick up? Well, how do you go about this?
Well, it's giving the position, and it's great to see Robert down doing his peels. I know he wasn't doing it yesterday. Pete told me so much, so it's lovely to see him down. But as you can see, most people would have loaded Rover or thought of loading Rover with one of those balls. Robert's trying to get, I would assume, yellow as far down as he possibly can into a really good position near Rover, because it's obviously going to be a Rover peel. And coming through himself in almost in a stop shot. So he's close enough to play this as a stop shot if he wants to. He doesn't need to play it necessarily as a roll or an Irish, because of the proximity of yellow to the hoop. There's going to be very little drag other than the drag he wants to have on it. So he's going to play as a stop shot by the looks.
Yep. And the yellow does exactly. Yep. Yellow careers down. Yep.
Lovely. Look at this. It's not that he makes it even look easy. He makes it easy. The choices he makes are not heroic choices unless he has to pull it out of the bag. They are the simplest and the most sensible choices. So that's another great reason to watch his choice of stroke play and ball placement or ball movement, as we say.
Yeah, so he's making his own percentages, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's creating the environment for success every time.
Well, his aim now is to get the black so that it's near the yellow, so that he can get the perfect rush on yellow towards Rover. And that's a beautiful contact.
He doesn't like it. I don't often see emotion from Robbie, so that was interesting.
I didn't. A little bit close. It means that he can't cut. Yeah, he can't get the side ball now.
Correct. That's exactly right. So in this setup, as we know, is ideally we want to have black either, well, in this case, on his left of Rover, but left or right of Rover is neither here nor there, just clear of the hoop, but almost parallel, because there's always a chance that you will grovel through, as we call it, in the Irish, if he chooses to Irish here. He may, again, if he Roki's yellow so nicely down and lands, see where he's trying to pick his spot. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Then he won't need to run the risk of doing too much of an Irish, because the red can be jawsed and then he just hits the red.
Well, he's certainly...
the black or the blue.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly given himself an absolutely straight rush here. So, and it's deviated off. Wobble into the striations. So a little bit more difficult for him now, Rosie.
Yeah, it's just because we've got to do a little bit of drag. But again, I mean, I know we over-compliment him all the time, but he has done it lots of times. But it caught the striation, as you say, from the scarification, which, you know, that gives a lawn character. You'll find that, although it might have been a bit annoying, on the whole, they prefer to play on lawns with character, not on dead straight lawns. So this is always interesting here. He really needs to make sure yellow clears, and you have to be tempted then to run it sometimes a bit hard. which then makes the next bunch of shots a little bit harder as well. But you'll see that Robert will take the most sensible and the most practical and easy way to do this finish.
So yesterday, Rosie, Robert was faced with a similar position, and he clonked the yellow through with some pace, and the yellow actually went off. So it was quite unusual.
Yes, he was having a bit of a frustrating day yesterday, from what I was watching. So I think he will have in the back of his mind that accumulated knowledge. Oh my goodness, yesterday I went off. And that might be because I didn't spend the time on the ground like I am now doing what I normally do. I mean, Robert's pre-shot routine is very self-evident. You can see what he does. He makes things just so until he feels comfortable with it, and then he just stands up and does the shot. So there were learnings from yesterday, no doubt, Gareth, which have definitely passed through his mind while he was lying down there on the ground.
So do you think, Rosie, that the fact that he took quite a long time lining the balls up there now indicates that he's going to try and Irish this through? That if he, or do you think he would
tell how far out he is? Now, he's strong enough to not have to Irish it. He doesn't appear to be taking the stance.
About a yard or so.
Yeah.
No? Oh, perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, perfect.
The trouble again with bullying it through is, yes, that lack of accuracy sometimes.
Yeah, so that worked out very well. So for the benefit of our viewers, if we were talking about Irish peeling, that would have been where both balls went through on the same stroke. And that obviously needs a lot more coordination, because instead of just sending one ball through, you're having to send both balls through. And there's a lot more that can go wrong, particularly at an angle. So this game will now be coming to a close. Although one of the great things about croquet is that it's never over until the peg out has actually occurred, you would not be putting too much money on Robert messing up from here. So we would. So we will.
Sorry.
Oh, you'd probably get quite good odds. I mean,
I was going to say that if you look at, you would get, but if you look at the fact that he's touched, the idea is, when I first started to play, they used to say after Rover, make sure you touch every ball. And sometimes you see players do it to their detriment when they really don't need to do it. But in this case, he much prefers to approach yellow rather than run the risk of doing a crazy takeoff or something from over where blue was. He's much easier to just take off, land somewhere north of the black, push it down so that he can really control this shot, because the last thing he wants obviously is to have an uncomfortable. See, that's not perfect either. He's going to have to cut it fractionally probably, and you can see his body position showing that where he's addressing the ball. You can see he actually lines up the line with the back ball and the front ball to show you where the cut's going to, and that's pretty delicious in the terms of a peg out.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. So hopefully we'll be able to go over to Lawn 2, where Callum Highland is playing Kevin Beard. But we will just see Robbie do the peg out. And that was another masterclass there. And well played, sir. And straight 7 wins out of 7 for Robbie, and amazing stuff to watch. And he's smiling there, having a chat with Stephen. Of course, these two played together in the Robertson Shield winning team a couple of years ago. Very, very long standing friends and combatants on the lawns.
Definitely.
So popping over to Lawn 2 now, I think, just waiting for that to happen. This was for those of you who missed it earlier, this is the Brian Reither Association Croquet Challenge, named in honour of one of croquet's long serving and really highly respected servants of the game. Rosie, the work that Brian does behind the scenes to make tournaments happen is unbelievable, isn't it?
Extraordinary support to not only Croquet Victoria, but Croquet Australia really too. He's and apart from just being a stalwart, he's somebody who's got an exhaustive knowledge of how to manage very large events at very large venues, and as well be able to adapt to smaller, more intensive style events as well. As you know, Gareth, when you play in a Worlds, there's an awful lot of players, and coordinating to make sure that the lawns are used at all times, that we never have a situation where there's a lawn going unused is important.
Yeah.
But it's also, dealing with the personalities and whatnot of players. And Brian not only is very adept at doing those things, he's also such a great guy in terms of fun. Great laugh with Brian. I know every time we see each other, pre-COVID, we were always having a bit of a hug and whatnot. He's just one of the best people you'll meet in Croquet, one of the best volunteers, particularly.
Yeah. And hopefully this challenge will become part of the regular Croquet calendar. Now, we've got this situation here with Kevin looking like he's approaching hoop 1. His yellow clip there is on hoop 1. He's got a Pioneer blue at 2. He goes through 1, and that's going to sail all the way up towards that Pioneer ball that was at hoop 2. So
I think
be interesting to
do you
see
think,
what he
Gareth,
does with that.
do you think he thought it was 2 weekends ago and that was a bit of a golf croquet shot? Looked a little bit that
it did, didn't it?
Yeah, 3-yard hoop and a run up to the next hoop.
Yeah. So we seem to have lost the picture from. Oh, there we go. We're back onto there now.
Back again.
So Kevin gives himself a nervous little roquet on the blue that's at hoop 2, which he gets quite nicely. But it means that he's pushed the blue a little bit further away from hoop 2 than he would have liked. So the mini map is updated. If that wants to come on, I've sussed out the position of the red and the black balls. There they are. So that's what we've got, Rosie.
Wonderful. Well, Gareth, I've actually got Pete here as well at the moment, so I might also include Pete. Is that all right with you?
Of course.
So
he doesn't look as if he's not taking on the hoop. He's gone back to his partner ball.
Well, that's interesting. Wasn't that far out of position?
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he must have hit it. He must have just tapped it as he came through. Now, big roll. Oh, that's going to be enticing for Callum to have a go at, isn't it?
Yes, and
considering
his injury, I'm very impressed.
Yes, well, of course, Kevin only a few days out of hospital after some major surgery. Stitches out only earlier this week, so we're very lucky to have him playing. Of course, unlucky, because otherwise he'd be in the commentary booth along with us, but we'd much rather see him on the lawn strutting his stuff there. So good afternoon, Pete.
Afternoon, Gareth. Yeah, I've joined in, and it looks like Kevin's live on black ball, so he'll be able to hit it to the boundary, which would be maybe a wiring spot on the red ball, and then possibly if he's still, did you say he's for hoop 2? Then he may just have a long
He's for hoop 2,
takeoff. Yeah. So then a long takeoff back into position for the hoop 2 hoop run. So he elected to go to red instead of just taking off to the hoop and hoping that he thought he had enough room to get behind the red to get a rush back upfield and have a stronger chance of continuing the break.
I think the thing is, Pete, that if I've got the position of the balls right on the mini map, the Callum's blue ball is awfully close to the red, and
yes, red certainly fell short, but he's scrambling, as we would like to call it. The break hasn't come out where he hoped.
Yeah.
So he'd like to keep the break going, So he's trying a few things, and now he's got one retiring shot, and we're probably thinking corner 3-ish, whereas blue shooting through red would give yellow a 7-yard continue a break, and if he has got the worrying spot on red-black, then blue is the ball that's going to be moving. And just gives him a few options. Even he may even go a yard south of corner 3 and really put the pressure on black to think, well, am I taking on the short Croquet and leaving the blue near Kevin's hoop?
So what Pete is saying is he believes that the red and the black is wired there, like I'm showing on the diagram, that they can't see each other. So that.
Yeah, so obviously black and red are open. So the yellow was a bit of an each way bet, unsure which Callum was going to do, and he wanted to be handy enough to be able to shoot it himself. And so Callum's left the blue near the north of hoop 2, but there should be a break for Kevin as long as he can connect with this yellow onto red. And it was a quick decision from Callum to take the shot, because this is a peeling turn for Kevin lying in front of him if he can make one solid roker. Yeah.
Well, it is.
He's not
This could be
red medium pace, and then he can put it back towards 3 while getting some sort of croquet shot on black, and then that black can rush along the north boundary towards the blue, and it's plain sailing. It's kind of what you put them out. The ball's out for a bit of a practice to test yourself out for starting a triple in a few random positions. Exactly.
Well, Callum did come out awfully quickly to take that shot, and considering what he was giving away by missing, because as you say, Pete, this is almost a routine drill now for Kevin. Once he's got the blue off the boundary and heading towards hoop 2, he should be in the box seat. He's got his Peely over at 4-back. So it's interesting that Callum really just leaps out of off the bench, and a lot of players would be really taking their time over that.
Well, taking the time over the shot, I think the decision probably was he was always looking, well, this is too short to turn down. My black ball's on Penalt. I can make 2 hoops and set a killer of a leave, and it's should be my match as long as I can connect with this roquet. But I think the quickness of the actual taking the shot once he got out of the law is, you may want to think, a few seconds longer might have helped me out. I think he's got lucky, isn't he? He's walking like that.
Well, go and have a look. So there's a really interesting technicality here for those of you who are not association croquet players. Kevin is obviously going to take croquet from the ball, but whether he's allowed to take it from a particular position depends on the position of that blue ball. Now, he's having to take it from the side. That makes things a little bit more tricky.
That's a tricky shot there. The rush where Kevin rushed the blue to is, one of the trickiest ones to handle, and another few millimeters, and he might have been able to take croquet from it from the non.
He's going to have to jump this.
Side.
Going to have a jump,
and it's worthwhile.
Yeah, he does it.
Well, it's a great shot and controlled as well.
Yeah.
Many a time you're having a return roquet from the boundary, and it's a nervy 7-yard shot. So he's played that very well.
Yep, he did. And he might even be able to dislodge the blue from the leg of the hoop as well.
Apologies, I'm sitting here with my mask on, Gareth, talking, and gets me a bit disorientated. I'm probably galloping and talking too fast, and I'll slow down a bit. I'll take my mask occluded room.
Well, are you and Rosie in the same spot, or are you in different spots?
We're kind of doing some work, so we're alternating between getting the work.
Oh, alternating, right? Okay.
Joining in the good things of life, commentating on croquet with the Anchorman.
Well, Well, the referee coming out now, Pete, to have a look at this situation. Kevin calling him out because, you know, the blue ball might move simply because Kevin hits the leg of the hoop, but that wouldn't count as a roquet.
Yes, that right leg is open to being hit and the blue shaking, so certainly needs this one watched. Well done.
No problem there. So, Pete, although the idea here now, he's got to have a pioneer at hoop 4, but he'll also want to get that black off the boundary. So what's the way that you do this?
Exactly that. That blue's a very good escape ball for after the peeling movement, and black is simply going to hoop 4 while he'll go to red, which is peely. And this is pretty standard stuff, Gareth, for a standard triple peel. And a standard triple peel meaning that the peels are on time. You peel 4 back after hoop 3, and you peel penult after hoop 6. And if the peels aren't happening on those 2 occasions, then it becomes a delayed triple peel. And there's a significant difference in a player's percentages of completion between delayed and standard triple peels, even though our statistics don't show that. And Kevin's capable of peeling from all positions, and certainly capable of finishing delayed triple peels. But if you hand him a standard triple peel like this, I would put Kevin up in the high 70 to 80% chance of finishing this turn.
Well, he's completed several hundred, and maybe 1,000.
Oh
dear!
After the hoop shot, are we able to see the replay of that, Kevin? I wouldn't mind seeing if that ball dropped significantly, because he looked certainly in disbelief as where the yellow ended up.
Oh gosh, that is tight. Oh, that's very tight. Oh, he does it! Well, that's one for the highlights reel. Amazing. Unfortunately for him, he's hit the blue ball.
Yeah, I think the shake of the head wasn't for the yellow hitting the blue. I think the shake of the head was, how did I get myself in this position from full control? And he's still wondering what happened to him there.
Well, for the benefit of our viewers, as Pete was saying earlier, if you want to do a classically in a on-time triple peel, you'd be wanting to peel the red ball through on this sort of area here. But because he's hit the blue, it means he has to slightly readjust.
Yeah, a slightly interesting thing here, Gareth. As I say, a delayed triple peel, I think, brings this completion of this turn down by, could be 10, 20%, somewhere in that range. So he's electing, seeing his black ball's not a great load for hoop 4, he's putting a bit of break safety into this play, and red is going to hoop 5 and giving him some control on black to hoop 4. So it's not abandoning the triple, but it's putting some safety into the break to make sure that he has some control by the time he gets back up towards hoop 6.
Yeah, because that black ball was sort of in the middle of the lawn rather than a tight pioneer at 4. Yeah. Yeah, so we saw a replay there of that fantastic jump shot. That was such an angle. It's hard to believe that the ball could squeeze through.
So hoop 2 and 3, he's both had to play a little delicate jump shot, so you don't want too many of them in your break, and he's hopefully got them out of the way, you'll be thinking. So a good time to bunker down and get the break under control, and come back to the peeling turn a hoop or 2 later.
Yes, because there's plenty of time to do the peels. Obviously, the longer it goes on, the less likely, the less time you have, so to speak. But Kevin, very, very experienced at triple peeling. and certainly will not be frightened of the delayed version. Putting the black quite close to hoop 6 and then getting the Croquet on the red to make this hoop. Now the rush out of here would be quite important, Pete.
Yeah, and it is a strength of Kevin, the ability to get rushes out of hoops. He's got a nice controlled swing on the hoop run, and that red's looking very good. It's plenty of room there to fit the yellow between the hoop and red, and it'll be a nice line for him to control a rush towards hoop 4 back. Slow down a little bit,
He's just
yellow.
gone a little bit long. Yeah. Didn't get the rush.
That's good. The hoop was a slight angle, so you've got to put enough into it to make sure you run the hoop first and foremost. And sometimes you take what you get after running the hoop, and that one's just overcooked a bit.
To what extent does Kevin like to chase the triple, Pete? Is he? Where do you think he draws the line between continuing to try and do it and then just finishing with a nice leave?
Yeah, I'm not. He is certainly capable of peeling 4 back, going to 1 back, and I have seen him set that play a few times. I haven't seen him set what we saw Robert Fletcher doing yesterday, trying to peel 4 back with a rush to 2 back. So he may fool us and try that, but I have certainly seen him peel 4 back going to 1 back enough times. And it's not an easy procedure, but he's the ball movement he's capable of.
Well, he's put the red up there as a clear indication that he wants to keep going with the peeling turn.
And when I say peeling 4 back, going to 1 back, there's two ways about that. You can play it as a croquet shot, sending your yellow all the way across to 1 back while you're peeling, or you can leave blue where it was near the hoop and rush it across to 1 back. He's elected to put the blue towards 1 back. And this shot is an easy shot, but he'd like this a couple of yards north of 1 back and a couple of yards east of 1 back. You don't want to be playing a croquet shot, and I think he's pushed that one a bit far. I think the mallet flattened out as he came through on that, and the blue's gone probably 4 yards too far. So he's putting himself under a bit of pressure to get this turn finished.
And this is a difficult one too, and he actually has sprayed that slightly off center. He left himself, a 4-yarder there, which you can't really control as much. But the position of the blue ball, Pete, it is at least north of. He's come up short. He's done it again.
It is north, but it's very west, Gareth.
Yeah. But I think he's actually left himself with a shot that can't be made at hoop 6.
Yeah, I think we fought that at hoop 2 and 3 though, so I'm not going to count him out.
Well,
no, he's not looking happy. So
no,
yeah, I think you're right.
He's not looking happy with that.
Well called. So he's
getting a half ball.
I think he probably needs to hit this red with a bit of a half ball and try to clear both balls. I think.
Oh yes, good shot! What a shot! What a great shot!
That is golf croquet skills to the fore, isn't it? Being able to hit what side of the ball you're aiming at, and the ball's 10 yards away from you, and he got that absolutely perfectly and protected.
That was a great save. Yeah, that really
free shot.
Yeah. Well, Callum will be quick off the block, striding onto the lawn. I guess he's already his black ball has already gone through 4 back. He's going to play with that. Little flex of the hips and shoots and misses. So
look close,
Kevin. Yeah. Well, if Kevin hits now, he's back on. He's and that rather westward blue is not really so much of a problem anymore.
No, he's at least your mind won't be thinking too many things at the moment, Kevin. It won't be thinking the ball movement of the triple P. We'll be thinking, make sure I hit this yellow onto the red, and then make sure I play the next few shots quite accurately and get the break under control. And so when it's as simple as that, it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, you won't be happy with that. That one didn't really challenge the red, and Callum has a reasonably easy tap on now to continue. Well, what would you do here, Pete? Would you play with the black or the red? Oh, the black or the blue?
Callum likes to peel, so I think he'll be backing himself to be able to play with the blue ball and possibly finish this game this turn. And the other of the route to take is to play the black and make the two hoops and set a leave without a lift, meaning that you're not giving your opponent a 20-yard roquet. You could offer him 30+ yard roquet if you get the leave right, which is a very strong position. But Callum always backs himself to get something happening when he's got control of the balls and the lawns. So certainly a lot better for the viewers on TV, Gareth, to watch this line of play.
Yeah. No, that was a nice shot too, wasn't it, Pete? It was a big split shot. The black ball's gone all the way down. Yeah, and of course Callum has a very, very heavy mallet, as we were discussing yesterday.
He doesn't have to work too much to get the balls moving around the court like that. That shot's not in everyone's range of ability to play, but for Callum, that's a simple shot. But Callum's for 2 back, I'm taking it, isn't he, with blue ball?
It looks like he is, based on where that yellow is careering down to.
And that's not a bad cut. He's got a.
It's very good, isn't it? It's very good.
4 to 5 yard roll in, relatively straight.
Yeah, it's very good indeed. Only about 3 or 4 yards away from the hoop, taking Croquet in front of 2 back.
And the parity of the black ball is very good because it'll be going to Penalt as well, Gareth.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. So it'll be right for the peeling.
Peeling, yeah.
Yeah. Clunk, clunk. All the way through.
And
a rush back up the park. If he wants it.
A rush back up. Yes, he can. Well, I think we'll want it. Yes, he can set position at 4 back a little bit tighter and get the break under control. He's got the power to rush as far as he wants with this mallet. You don't want a half ball. You want to be able to strike it nice and clean in the middle and get full advantage of this line of play. Oh, that's a great shot.
Zooms up.
Oh, he clipped Penalt, which is a bit unlucky.
Oh, he did. Oh well, it still should be quite easy for him to tidy up the red at 4 back. And in fact, ultimately, I guess he wants the yellow at Penalt for the peeling. Oh, as long as that doesn't go out.
Yes,
as long as it doesn't go out. Oh, it doesn't.
I think yellow to 4 back was also an option, Gareth, going to red and then pushing red across on the takeoff, going back down to 3 back. You're very seldom do you see a rush out of 3 back up to Penalt that's peelable. So you're
this
not
is a big shot, Pete.
Getting ahead of time by setting.
I was going to say this is a pass roll, which is quite tricky, and he's left himself a good 6 yards to make here.
Yeah,
Makes
and
nicely.
nice disrupt. Yep. It shows us in Croquet, it doesn't matter what line of play you take, as long as you execute the shots reasonably well, you know, it's the right option for you while you're out there.
Yeah. A lot of nice distance on the black to act as the reception ball, which will be thumped. Blue will be thumped through, which it is.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the sound effects of the hoops on those little jump shots, and when Callum had to clobber himself through two back, they're well set, solid hoops on the ground. So well done to all the staff at ground staff at Cairnlea. There's a bit of work to get the hoops to hold up very well for a full, weekend of play, and these ones appear to be very solid and testing for the players.
Did you see the 2v1 battle that we had earlier, Pete?
No, I've come in a little bit in the dark. Yeah, I haven't.
No, it was good. Callum and Stephen Forster, the previous but one game had a nice 2v1. 2v1, yeah. I won't give you any spoilers because there will be no spoilers, because if this game finishes quickly, which I think it might now, that Callum is in absolute motoring mode, we might need another option. And if we did have another option, then that would be the perfect one to show, because I think your insight into the 2v1 tactics would complement really nicely the things that were said at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was certainly absolutely stoked that we got a 2v1. I was willing it to happen.
Yes.
But the funny thing was that once it happened, what we realised was that COVID hadn't just taken away our practice on the lawns; it had actually taken away some of the sharpness when it comes to thinking of the options in the 2v1 battle. So it was we were relearning some of the things as we were going.
And patience is one of those things that if you're out of the game for a little bit, Gareth, and you come back, the art of being very patient in the game of croquet, especially at 2v1, takes a while to get back sometimes. And you've got to be willing to be out there for an hour, not doing much.
Yeah,
watching grass grow, really, some would say. So you're unique like that, Gareth. Not everybody enjoys the 2v1 battle because something doesn't happen sometimes for quite a long time.
All right, so Callum now to peel the black and get the blue through as well, and the black is beautifully, yeah. Got a bit of a kick.
I mean, it kicked onto the yellow. That showed what we were talking about yesterday, that you always want that yellow out of the way so that can't happen. So you end up putting it a few yards east or west. But it actually straightened the black up slightly.
I think it did two things, actually. It slowed it down because I think it was actually going to go beyond, and secondly, as you say, it straightened it out a bit. Yeah, so I think it was actually quite a good thing for him that it hit, but that was just an impression.
Nice sideways skate ball there. We'll be able to push this yellow up forward a bit and nicely behind the black.
Yep, so a nice engineering a nice rush on the black to put the black dead in front of the hoop is what he wants to do here.
And he's elected to only play with one escape ball to give himself the best chance of rushing the black into an easier position. But red isn't the perfect escape ball, but it's still a ball that has to be.
No.
You have to be clear of the hoop, and you don't want a nervy 4-yarder at that stage. That's a nice shot.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah,
Well
beautiful.
played.
So that's what we call an Irish peel, where both the balls go through at the same time. And now we see the meaning of the escape ball, which is the ball. which is missed.
And
which is missed.
Well, I don't think it was a nervy 4-yarder. I think he was ready to shake hands.
Amazing. Well, this is fantastic, Pete, because this is a great example of how you can be quite a long way behind in a croquet match, and yet the game is not over until the peg out has happened. So Kevin has an opportunity here. Kevin has an opportunity.
Know what time may be left in the match, Gareth?
No, but I'm sure our producer will let us know about the timing soon. Kevin has the opportunity of a lift shot here, Pete.
He does, and he's 4 Nolt and 1 back, isn't he?
Yeah, so red is for. Oh no, he's for. Red is for 4 back.
4 back,
and,
4 back, and
4 back and 6.
Yeah,
but lots of time. 43 minutes.
43
maybe. Yeah, 43 minutes. Maybe we'll see maybe we might see a peg out here, because a 2v1 here, because although is it with your opponent on the peg, you wouldn't do that, would you? No, it's too.
No, and you're giving away
too far advanced.
So,
yeah.
Kevin needs, if he's unable to peel out this turn, his requirements are to make a break and set the leave of the correct distances, and just hopefully Gallon misses it and he gives himself a second chance to make the last smaller break. You can't really do much more than get it down to putting all your experience and skill of setting the best leave you can. He is playing with the yellow ball, so he does have an opportunity to peel out, but it is very tough to start a triple from hoop 6 and still have 3 peels to go. You're spending a couple of hoops getting the balls moved around, and then now you're down to, well, the one we haven't discussed yet is a straight triple peel, Gareth. We've discussed standard triple peels, delayed triple peels, and then the straight triple peel from when both balls are for 4 back, and you need to get the 3 peels through in the free hoops one after the other, which it would be great to see Kevin attempt one.
It certainly would, but he hasn't quite engineered the yellow ball the way that he wanted it here. I think. Sorry, I haven't updated the mini map for a second or two, but he hasn't. He's still got a bit of work to do to get the yellow into a position where it's got a rush on the red up to hoop 6. Well, there it is. So he's got the rush, but he's got to hit it cleanly. Oh, nice shot.
It's a good shot.
Okay, so he could get the break going now. He's got a pioneer at 1 back. Just needs a good shot here.
That looks nice.
That is good. That is good. Well, he wouldn't have been thinking he would have, after Callum made the Irish peel at Rover, he would not have been thinking he'd be getting out of his seat again.
It's maybe slightly hampered here. It's not calling anyone, so you may think he's got enough room here to hit this. Just enough. still never nice to be faced this.
No.
Yep. Got the edge of it, which is all you need. So well done, Kevin.
Okay. So I think he clipped the red on the way through, so that was quite nice. He doesn't have a nervous return roquet, and he's in perfect position.
He had a hampered shot, Gareth.
Yeah.
Which he was able to.
And sending the red down nicely, but a little bit of an angle on the blue. He's got a little bit of work just to cut it up to one back. And he cuts it nicely. And he should be away here. So as Pete was saying, the leave is going to be incredibly important. Nice shot. Absolutely plumb in front of the hoop.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a hoop that you feel fully in control of. He's had a few testy ones in the last 15 minutes, so it's good to be able to get himself back into some controllable situations.
I've noticed when Kevin is quite pleased with the hoop run, he just taps the ground with his mallet once. So as the ball comes through, he plops it on the ground. It's like it's his little. Yeah, you watch it. If
I will. Thanks for that, Gareth.
If he makes
tells, but that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. We were studying Robbie Fletcher's tells, his touch of the cap, and the slightly admonishing look at the errant ball.
Yes, I've had a lot of hours on the sideline as an opponent watching Robert's tells, and when some of them come out, you more or less think, "Wow, it'd be a bit rude for me to go and pack my bag and go back into the clubhouse. I'll just have to sit here and take it." But yes, he has got the wee tug on the cap when he is very, very pleased things are going.
And the sun has come out at Cairnlea. We've had 3 seasons at Cairnlea today. We probably just need a snowstorm really to complete the traditional Cairnlea mix. As Kevin slides the yellow across the face of hoop 5 to end up with the rush on red for 2 back. Pete, he's put the blue up at 4 back. What's that signalling?
I think he's he'll be looking for a rush on this red ball up to 4 back, and if he can peel it, that's fantastic. Even drawing it would be fantastic because then it's an easier straight triple peel.
Yeah, so he is looking. Yeah. So what you're saying though he's looking for the straight triple.
Yeah, going back 1 hoop, I think that was the importance of being able to run 1 back in a nice tight position. And now he's looking, even before he played the croquet shot at 2 back, of where he wants to rush this red ball to. So he's thinking things are running quite smooth and he's playing quite tight. So this straight triple's fully on, and 1 good cut here, and he can set it up quite nicely, especially with that blue ball up towards 4 back.
Oh, lovely rush. Yeah. And where did it go? Oh, it's fallen a little bit short, but he can still croquet that red into the position that favours him whilst going to the blue.
Yes, and the blue's not too important. That's just going to be the working ball after 3 back, as long as he gets red in a good position, which he has.
And he's got a rush on the blue down if he wants it.
Game on, yeah. How good is his load at 3 back? Can we remember?
Well, I think I've got it right on the map. I think it's slightly out of position, but we'll see.
It must have felt good enough because he's elected not to rush anywhere. He's preferring just to keep the blue up towards fallback for this peeling movement and take off to the black bull.
That's a little short.
Takeoff. So that generally means you've got to add a little bit more to your yellow, and he has come up a bit short. And while the thick takeoff and getting blue across there is handy, it's not critical.
Good shot. Nice cut. Well, this is getting interesting. We've seen a lot of really great things happen over the course of this weekend. We've seen triples. We've talked about pull. We've seen 2v1s. If we saw a straight triple, that would be very exciting.
Yes, I think that was good awareness. Kevin had a bit of a communication with someone on the sideline, and it was probably asking the time, thinking, do I have to push these peels, or do I have to make a set a leave? So he's got a few bailout options he'll be thinking now. Which
would be good. It would be good to get a confirmation of the time that's still in the game. It was 43 minutes when we last asked, but I can't remember when that was. I can't remember.
I'm having a guess at 12, 13 minutes ago, 15 minutes. Right. I'm still thinking he's well in 20-something minutes. That's a minimum, 28 minutes or so to go. But he's taking a lot of care. He's playing the turn like this is the crunchy bit of the game, and he's going to not hand these balls over at all. He's going to hold on to everything he can. And, let Callum sit on the sideline, wondering what happened. And
so the idea here, Pete, would be to roquet the blue and send it to the eastern side, the northeastern side of the hoop, whilst getting position. Yeah. Okay, so that's the really crucial thing here, is to get the yellow behind the red. Ooh, little bit on the side, isn't it?
Yes, he didn't have much room to get the blue up there, so he's probably got maximum of everything he could. Just got it past the north of the hoop and got enough to cut it through the red.
Crucial decision, though. I mean, is this a point of no return? I mean, or could he say, "Oh no, I won't do the triple now. I'll just set a leave"?
No. Well, I think Kevin's mindset looked like right from the start. As I said, once he got that control at one back on the hoop run, as soon as he got the two back, he started looking where he wanted to play the red to the up court. So he's in the mindset, I'm going to peel this out, but I have some escape plans up my sleeve if I have to bail, if I don't get the penult peel going. The slight interesting one on this one is, Gareth, it's got a little bit of an angle, and ideally you'd be Irishing this as well, but seeing it as a straight triple, you don't really want that peely to go too far towards the boundary. You only want the red to pop through by a yard, so you can run it, play the blue, and then get some control on the red over the penult. But seeing he's got too much of an angle on this peel, he may be forced into playing this as an Irish.
Oh, this is the moment.
You can get a bit of randomness out of this result.
Oh, he's done it nicely, I think.
Yeah.
Now he just needs to tickle through and not hit the red. Mustn't hit the red when he comes through. And now he can hit the blue. Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, this will test a few out. I think that was close to an Aspinall peel when the ball bounces and your other one catches up with it. And
well, it'll be interesting to see a replay. Yeah, if there's a replay available, then it would be great.
Delicate Irish peels on a bit of an angle. There is some randomness to it, and so you back your skills and confident that it's going to come off, and it has. And it's got the slight rub of the green out of it all. Now, is he playing a bombard, Gareth? This could be exciting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the important thing is that the red ball has to get over to Penalt. So, but of course the yellow has to get over to Penalt as well. So
the yellow's got to get over the black ball. Yeah, somewhere to hit a ball on the black ball with the yellow.
Oh, look at this! Powered it, and they've all it's gone way over. Wow! That's surprising. Oh my goodness! So
yeah.
Or
I think that's a COVID peel, Gareth. I think that's it's a shot that you don't get to play very often, and it's all about the weight of the shot. And Kevin's looked and think, well, I've got to give this a bit of a thump. I've got to move 2 balls, and it's just raced away from him, which is
hasn't it?
Yeah, he's put him.
Well, he's caught up on that one.
His fort's enough to centre ball the black, which is great. He's got a bit of work though now to get himself into the fullback position of finishing the turn.
He has, because he's now giving away his. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. He's got to come all the way into penultimate from here. Oh, is he still live on red, Pete? No, he's.
No, he's still live on red. Yes, because he bombarded red across. But,
right.
Yes, he could have played a takeoff. He may be a slip of concentration there, Gareth. I think you're quite right. I think he may have been better off doing a takeoff to that red. There's a bit of room from the western boundary to work with.
Well, Callum just has to hit in now to take the game.
And he has a lift shot, but the shortest lift shot is actually on his own ball, so which is never great if you want to peg out both balls.
Yeah, good point. Well, he's having a look to see what the distances are. The distance from yellow to blue would be quite short. If blue can see it, he's actually picking up the black, and he's going to go for his own ball.
Yeah, I think he looked up there and thought, well, blue can't rush to the peg anyway, so even if I hit one of the opponent's balls, then I'm still having a bit of trouble to finish this peg out. So I might as well take the shorter shot on the lawn. And again, one here that could be watched, Gareth. It's got that leg that could be.
And there's a good reason why it should have been watched, because he's claiming that he got it. Oh. What's happening?
Yes, it was handed up straight away. He saw the tickle on the ball, and all fine there. But I think it shows you that they're the ones that you do want to have watched, and not because for the uncertainty. It's just that you want to be able to play your next shot without that preying on your mind. Oh, I should have called someone, or did my opponent think I hit that or didn't hit that, and all of those little bits and pieces. So
he's going for the peg out now, and he's actually getting his opponent Kevin to judge the validity of the peg out. Peculiar thing in croquet, isn't it? Yeah, certainly is. Your opponent is the person. This is like your opponent decided to give a penalty kick in your favour.
They have a winning putt in a game of golf, and ask them, "Would you mind holding the flag for me while I drain this putt?"
All right, so that's a long way off, but he'll. Well, will he?
We have a 2v1, Gareth.
We got a 2v1. Here we go. A 2v1. If he decides to peg out, he may not do, of course, but he's having a look. I mean, well, this is very interesting. He's going over to his own ball. Off he goes. All right. Well, if Kevin hits now, then that will. This is a crucial shot, isn't it? If Kevin hits, then he's in the ascendancy. If he doesn't hit, Callum should be able to rush the blue ball towards the peg and peg out.
Yes, correct. Yes, I thought Callum was going to play to the cameras there for us, Gareth.
Yeah, I know. Very disappointing. Yeah, well, he came out. Oh no, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. No, but I just have. So now, Kevin, can he see the yellow? Do you think with the red? He's electing to go for Callum's balls, which is basically complete and utter death if he misses.
Mini map phase, you can see it, Gareth.
So yeah, well, the mini map's a little bit exaggerated, or he hasn't got. Oh, it's coming back in. It's coming back in. He's got it. Oh, he's got it.
It looked as if it was commentary box, Gareth. That's what a tight, long distance Croquet in the wind, going from south to north on the scarifications, and managed to
incredible.
A game-changing Croquet.
Oh, that was amazing, because it started when it started off. It didn't look as if it was going to make it, and it came back round, and it was a complete do or die one, wasn't it? Because if he'd missed, Callum would have had the easiest. Oh, Kevin, he's clipped the black. Oh, he's just clipped it on the way through. Oh dear. Now what happens? A pass roll to yellow, or
no, yellow's he's for Penalt and yellow's for up near Penalt, isn't it? So
Penalt, yes.
It doesn't matter if black goes out well past.
Oh, he's fluffed that. He's now what's happened?
He's thinking. I think he thinks he's done some fault, but I didn't see the fault. But
I don't. Can you fault from that? Is it possible to do a fault?
He could hit the red twice with the mallet if he. His mallet's come up or his head's come up or something. He hasn't struck the Croquet shot very cleanly, and I think he's thinking his mallets might have struck that red twice. First, a very faint hit, and then the second one with a bit more. But I didn't see any fault in the shot. I think it's just, it hasn't come out how he wanted, and now he's just doing the good thing, saying to Callum, look, something went wrong there. Did you see anything in my shot? And Callum said, no, it looks fine to me. You can have the 20-yarder and keep going.
Well, he had the 20-yarder, and he missed the 20-yarder, and the red has sailed by. Yeah, it doesn't look anything wrong with that, Pete. But as you say, it's when you're the striker and you sometimes feel a double contact, or you feel something that your opponent can't see.
It was an extremely difficult shot, Gareth. I mean, Kevin's capable of playing it, but I think it is the difficulties of not getting lawn practice, playing tournaments regularly. It's you test out that shot that you've done in the past and you can do them, but getting yourself down in that position and executing it is, it's quite tricky.
So interesting position here now, Pete. Callum, would he try and peg out? Would he try and peg out from here? Is he going to peg out one ball? What do you think?
I think he's going to spread these balls at maximum distance he can, Gareth, and ideally, red and yellow can't see each other, and Kevin's forced to shoot the long shot down at blue and black, and then Kevin can make the rush from the free balls.
Yeah.
So he can take a bit of time and trying to do this. His time will be getting down, but you're entitled to take, a bit of time to sort yourself. Is he wide on the yellow? No.
No, I think he can see the yellow quite well. Yeah. Okay, so he's just going to put the yellow up there and knock the red down, maybe. So maximum distance between those two balls.
Maximum distance. It's a bit short on both, and it means whatever shot that Kevin's going to be faced with is going to be 7-8 yards shorter than what it possibly could be.
Yeah.
He would have been, unless he's looked at that and seeing a very neat wiring position with red and yellow.
Yeah.
And if he's got that, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, he's going over to look for it. Yeah. And Callum likes to wire.
Callum, you weren't 7 yards short. You've got it exactly right.
Yeah. So the just for the benefit of that would be the wiring position would be where I've got the end of the line on the mini map.
Right.
So that's where Callum wants to put the red ball.
Now, no, he doesn't like it. It was too much. It must have been too far to move the ball to get the wiring position, so he elected to roll it.
Well, it's a long shot for Kevin.
Seeing yellow can see red and red can see yellow, he needs to set himself a rush that's not a double for any of the balls now.
Yeah, just picking the spot, which gives him a nice rush to the peg, but doesn't give Kevin any sort of double.
And he has to leave Kevin a shot. He can't, seeing he's used all the balls, Kevin's balls, he can't put Kevin in a position where Kevin can see nothing. He has to leave Kevin a shot with each ball. Albeit very long would be his plan, but he does have to offer him the shot.
Yeah. Well, even if Kevin was to miss, it's not a formality that the rush towards the peg would be successful. So still some uncertainty here. Nice camera angle of the rush.
Yeah, nice work with the cameras, great. But I think, well, there's a tricky rule to explain that if a ball is wired or not, it doesn't mean that you can't hit it. It's just you've got to be able to hit both sides of the ball. So he's looked at that yellow and thinks, well, I can hit that ball. I'm no use asking for a lift.
So Pete, do you think that red can't see? Oh, Kevin. Well, we won't know now.
You think red can't see yellow?
Well, I was wondering whether red couldn't see yellow, because I'm just thinking that.
No,
I suppose
red couldn't see yellow. Otherwise, Kevin would have been taking one of those two shots.
Okay. Oh well, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's near enough the peg for a peg out.
But
very good shot, Callum. Very good shot.
Wiring lift things are always quite good to see on different, and that was a good camera angle to see that one. And we didn't get to see the yellow to red, what type of shot was on offer, but judging by what Kevin took on, he must have realised yellow was open on the black ball. So it was a good win for Callum.
A very good win, and very nicely done. And there we go, 26-20, the final score. So that was the concluding game of the Brian Reither AC Challenge. We'll see what our producer has for us coming up next. There was some intriguing 2v1 battling between Callum and Stephen Forster earlier, and the eventual winner of the Brian Reither tournament was Robert Fletcher, who won all of his games. So this is a replay, Pete, of that. It would be great to have your insight. This is Stephen Forster just doing the final peg out of Callum's black ball in that game. The the red ball was right on the middle of the western boundary, and so that was the situation that we had at this juncture. And Stephen plays a sort of role to take the yellow over towards corner 3. So the black has come off. The blue was somewhere, but obviously it's going to be picked up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then Stephen elects to put the yellow ball into corner 3. Now, at this stage, Callum is for hoop 4. So Callum's blue ball is for hoop 4.
And it's the is it a contact?
It's a contact, yes. Yeah, it's a contact. So we've seemed to have stopped that replay. Now we're back to this one. No, we're back to a blank lawn, and eventually we might go back to the 2v1 battle. So we will interview Robert soon as well, Pete. So that will be that'll be interesting. Maybe we can ask Robert a few things about the pull on the balls on that first day. I know that you'd be interested to chat to him about that. But we're back now with the.
Gareth?
Oh, I think coming from a fellow expert, it would be it would be better. But so anyway, yes, Callum is now he's got contact. He's and he's for hoop 4. So that's the situation. So what do you think Callum will do here?
I think he will take Croquet from the red ball, if he has contact, he does, and play that as a reasonably fit takeoff going to the yellow in corner 3. I'm not sure actually what Callum would do. This is probably what I would do.
That's what you do. Okay.
I would take a takeoff from the red ball and try to push that towards hoop 5 area.
Yeah.
Going to the
so
yellow.
What you do, I'll show it on the map. So what Pete would do is he'd take Croquet from the red and he'd pop the red slightly into the court whilst going across.
No, towards hoop 5, Gareth.
Towards hoop 5.
Push red across to hoop 5.
Yeah. Okay, all the way. Yeah, as a takeoff. Yeah. So, but you'd end up in that sort of position.
Yes. Now you could put red all the way to hoop below south of hoop 4, but that's a split and they're quite difficult to control the pace to get to the yellow ball. So I'd be happy of getting red towards hoop 5, even if it's a yard west of hoop 5, a couple of yards west of hoop 5, and give yourself that roll from corner 3 down to hoop 4. And that roll is long, but no matter what you do, you generally will have a hoop shot. And if you can run that one good hoop, then you have both balls out on the court, a ball near hoop 5, and it should be an opportunity to win the game on that one contact turn. But you've got to give yourself a chance to win that game on that contact turn. You don't want to just play it reasonably cautiously and just make one hoop and then not have any great reward.
So you can see that what Callum actually did was that he took contact off the yellow ball that was in corner 3, and he actually did an ambitious roll down the lawn, and then Stephen responded just by going up to
back up.
Back up to corner 3.
He ended up with the same role as we were always playing, but by playing off red first, it's an opportunity to have both balls out for the win.
And funnily enough, the shot that he's just played now, Pete, puts him in exactly the position that you were talking about, because he's now roqueted the red ball up into the lawn, and he's going to be he's going to be able to play a shot which allows him to go for the yellow. But now, funnily enough, the yellow is not in the corner anymore. The yellow is off the corner. The yellow is about 2 yards in from the corner. So the yellow is in the position that you can see on the.
Yeah. Again, I wouldn't be changing much line of play. I think I'll be playing a thick takeoff, a red, pushing it down towards the peg, going to yellow.
Yeah, but he gets behind the yellow here.
Oh, sorry. I thought okay. So did Stephen not get it all the way to the corner on the retiring shot?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. On the retiring shot, he left it a yard off the line. So that gave Callum an opportunity to do a rush, but it didn't eventuate because he got too much of a cut on it. But now, of course, he's in a position where he can. Now, let's have a look at this shot. You'll enjoy this.
And he's had one practice at it. The previous.
He's had a practice at it. That's right.
Yeah.
He's had a practice, and look at that.
Oh well! Wow, how good's that? Yeah.
What a shot! What a shot!
Yeah. And he can power this blue through to the boundary and have any cut he likes onto the hoop ball to hoop 5 or to the red.
That's exactly right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he can power this through. He's got a rush on for hoop 5. Everything's looking really, really nice. And of course, that red ball is we've lost it again. Oh, that's a shame. Just as that was getting we were just getting into our rhythm there on the 2v1, but we're back onto it now. Here we go. So Callum now has this shot, this rush towards hoop 5, but he's also got a pioneer sitting up at 1 back as well. So who are you backing now, Pete?
Well, okay, I am going to back Stephen to win this game.
Oh, right. But Callum's in the ascendancy here. He's got. Oh my goodness! Though, look at that. He's fallen short.
I've been sorry. Backing Stephen to win this game is purely an experience thing of putting yourself in positions to elect a triple peel opponent players out because you've been in that situation to handle the 2v1 and the change that it can do to a player. Some players slow down, some players speed up, and the shots don't quite come out the same. But Stephen's been around for a long time and is a very good peeling opponent on a TPO player. And when it gets down to 2v1s, I would tend to back any of the players with the stats on their side. And Callum's skills are multiple peelings, but not so much TPO peelings. So after all of that, I could be, way off. But...
Well, I guess I wanted to offer you the odds when after Callum had played that brilliant role, and then after that fantastic rush, and he's sort of sitting pretty in front of hoop 5 with a pioneer at 1 back, but then the game changes very quickly because he slightly underhits the approach shot to the hoop. So now Stephen's able to sort of run away, but Callum is still in front of the hoop now with Stephen in front of 1 back. So Callum comes through.
Yes. Going back a few turns when Stephen retired and didn't quite make it up into corner 3, and Callum nearly punished him for it, Stephen also may be thinking, you know what, I may have been better up to corner 2 than corner 3 and giving Callum that role. And to to have got away with it and Callum not finish, Stephen may have a good mindset. Okay, I'm just going to have to get myself back into the thought process of the 2v1 and get myself in a position where Callum shoots at me and I have the control of the free balls, even if it means I've got to chip the break out a little bit and do a bit of work to get it. Is what he'll be trying to do. The difficulty with Callum is that he's predictable and he'll do something, attempt to do something quite remarkable, unpredictable sometimes of how many times it comes off, but it's always capable there from Callum that you've only got to play a couple of good shots and in a matter of a blink, and he's dealt to you. But Stephen's just looking
This
for a
one
bit of
looks
control
tough.
back into the form. There's a tough hoop. Yep.
This is tough, and it was tough. So now the advantage is back with Stephen again, being able to pair up his balls and
Well, yes. Now, this is a good situation. Is like, does red shoot at the blue near the hoop, even though it's red hoop? And the answer is no, because
okay, a little bit of production noise there, Pete. I'm not sure what that was happening there. I was interested in this position, Pete, that Stephen elected to shoot at the blue rather than just go and pair up with his yellow balls.
Yep. Yeah. No. I've got that one all wrong too. As well clear of the hoop leg. There's no danger, I don't think, of Stephen tweaking this towards the leg, but it's not a nice. Always going past the hoop is never nice.
No, I mean, really, there was only a ball's width between the trajectory of the line of shot and the hoop. It'd be quite easy to clang into the leg and then give Callum a 2-ball break.
He may be thinking, look, if I retire and don't offer a shot, Callum's got a bit of a gallop up. He's hit the last Croquet very clean and powerful. I really got to put some distance on the lawn for his next shot. And so I'm going to hit this blue. I'm going to send it into a position where I can retire and really put the pressure on him.
Yeah. Well, that's what he does now. Goes to have a look. Because, of course, now he's responsible for Callum's blue ball. So he has to be careful not to provide a wiring situation.
And Stephen will be working on what I was talking about before on predictability. He'll be wanting Callum to be predictable that he won't turn down the shot at him.
Yes.
So he'll be thinking, whatever I give him, Callum's going to shoot at me.
Yeah. Yes, Callum was telegraphing very early on that he was all for shooting. And you're absolutely right. He's predicting, putting maximum distance between himself and Callum.
And I mean, extremely difficult finish for if Callum does miss. It's an extremely difficult finish from Stephen in this position. But that Stephen well aware of that, and he's saying to him, look, all I'm going to do is keep control of this lawn. I'm going to make my ball through hoop sits, and now I'm going to reverse it and be up in control in corner 2. And if you shoot at that one, yes, I will finish the turn next turn. Finish the game next turn.
I wonder if we're shaping for the presentation ceremony now. We've stopped looking at that replay, so we might well be handing over to our Master of Ceremonies for the presentation to Robert Fletcher. It's becoming quite a tradition for us in these KO Croquet tournament coverage to end proceedings with an interview with the victor, Robert Fletcher. And today will be no exception to that. So I guess it looks like Stephen Forster strolling out onto the lawns there. Cairnlea has served up all manner of weather for us, Pete. We've had driving rain, we've had sun, we've had wind, the normal menu. Not sure that we are going to the ceremony. People are moving the pipe. The new temple in the background of Cairnlea there. I think that's just been up about a year or so. This is quite an elegant backdrop to this fantastic facility.
Oh, you noticed, yeah, the suburb of Cairnlea is absolutely fantastic, Gareth. Very multicultural suburb. Great if you're looking for something to eat of all varieties. Great Vietnamese restaurants around, and
yes, that's right. Yeah,
every time I go out to the western part of Melbourne, you know, going back 15 years, there wasn't a great deal there, but you come out here now, and there's everything on offer. It's a fantastic part of Melbourne,
yeah.
And to have the headquarters here with the 12 lawns and be away from the bustle of the city is a nice treat to go away to.
So this is the final standings, Pete. You can see Robert Fletcher undefeated with an enormous net hoops in his favour, and Chris Grant there from Ringwood. He had a great start, defeating Kevin Beard in the first game. We didn't get to see Chris play at all in the tournament, which is a shame because he's a great player to watch. Josh, we saw in the first game against Robert, and he showed some real class in coming off the bench to play a beautiful nine hoop break, and it was just a little bit unlucky with a sort of unintended roquet near the end of his break, which made the leave more attractive to Robert. Kevin has had 2 wins. He's been extremely brave in competing in this tournament. It's only a week ago that he had quite major surgery. So fantastic to see him here. Andrew Whitten, after a long absence from the game, really getting back into things, and he'll be very pleased with his 2 victories against pretty class opposition.
Yeah,
Stephen, we saw.
Andrew.
Yeah, very good indeed. Stephen.
I mean, he certainly looked capable when I saw him the last time in Melbourne, but to feature in this Invitational 8 and get the results there, he's done. It was a great result.
Yeah, it's really great to see him. And Stephen, of course, we saw him in that a few matches this weekend, but particularly in that intriguing 2v1 battle against Callum. And Lachlan Berriman must be very pleased with his performance. 5 wins.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, really amazing.
It shows this strength in Victoria, isn't it? Even though Lachlan's been around a bit, like Andrew coming back into it, and another top player pops up and gives everyone else something to think about.
So another thing that we could just reflect on from yesterday, Pete, is this opening that you called the super shot opening that we're seeing now. Robert playing a ball into the middle of the lawn, and that's something that sort of ordinary croquet players wouldn't think of doing very much, is it? They normally think of playing the ball to the side of the lawn. What's the purpose of the super shot?
Well, the primary purpose at the very top level of Robert's playing another top 10 or 20 player in the world is that you recognise each other's talent and skill of being world-class players, and you feel that your best opportunity in this game is to only give your opponent one crucial shot. So if you can make the first break with only the 3 balls on the lawn, then your opponent only has that one crucial shot, and if they miss, you could wrap up the game. And if you don't do the super shot, they would likely do it to you. So on good court conditions and 2 top players squaring off, it's reducing it to the least amount of turns possible that you want to give your opponent. Now, slightly different because, well, Josh is an accomplished and very strong player. He's not top 10 in the world. So for Robert to do it against someone of Josh's ranking of 250 in the world is partly he's doing it for himself to set himself up for the event where he's wanting to get something happening, and he's wanting to put himself under a bit of pressure straight away by making a tough first Croquet and a tough first break. And he's capable of doing, it's been a line of his play for quite a few years of doing super shots for third turn 9s. He's also can flip this around very quickly and play defensive openings, and he's got an amazing knowledge of and understanding of the game, and generally picks the right tactic in an opening for the right reasons. And so when Robert put the super shot out, I was very pleased. All this is good. Robert's arrived to not ease himself into the event. He's arrived to get things happening and get the season going and kicking off, and get himself back to, well, he's never not moved away from being close to number 1 in the world. He'll be wanting to start the season of play coming up ahead of us, and we've got a lot coming up ahead of us in a good frame of attacking Croquet. So that's my take on that tactic.
Yes, that's right. He and also in that first game he had a tremendous pace about him, didn't he? His momentum, his cadence was really, really flowing.
He was moving along. Might have been cold. I'm not sure. He might have thought I've got to keep warm out there. But the slight difference in Robert's super shot, he's meticulous in where he puts that first ball in. It looks like it's just I'm stroking that ball up into the middle of the court somewhere, but it's not. It's usually got a spot he's chosen north of hoop 5 by 2 to 3 yards. He might have pushed that one the full extent of that 3 yards, and then it's usually a yard to west of the line of hoop 5. And it's a deliberate spot that he's chosen by thinking of where his opponent may respond to it. And Josh decided to put it just outside corner 2. But it's a strong position. Robert starts off with that, and it means you'll see some players play the super shot a lot longer than Robert's one, and it goes up towards the peg. And it means that you're in the danger of someone pairing up with you in the middle of the lawn and putting the pressure back on you to hit, with the danger of missing into the balk lines. So
to the balk line, where they,
and if they don't take that shot on, then it's just about advantage to you that you've tactically played them. They've turned down their opportunity for the third turn 9 by, well, they may not turn it down, but they're not hitting with full power. And on a lawn with a few dimples like this one at the moment, you need to be playing your Croquets with naturally full power.
Okay, well,
you do see other shots in Croquet. See the subtle differences between what the players are doing with the super shot, and where Robert's got that black ball is I think is just about the strongest position you can play it.
Well, it looks, Pete, as if we're going over to the presentation ceremony. There is Brian Reither, the man himself. And then afterwards, I think we'll have a chance to interview Robert. And it'd certainly be good to quiz him about the super shot tactics that you were talking about earlier. So Brian waiting anxiously there to take his cue to start the ceremony. And we talked about Brian's amazing role. Here he goes.
Well, we're at the end of 2 glorious days of great croquet. I'd firstly like to thank Lester and his team for preparing the courts in the condition they're in. Very, very good. Big thanks to them. Thank you to My Sport Live for the job they've done with the videoing. It's been great. And thanks to our programmer, Kate, who's ably supported them in their role. To the players who made themselves available for this event, tremendous effort under some what appeared to be going to be trying conditions and restrictions a couple of weeks ago. And a special thanks to Callum for coming down to fill the 8th spot. Well done. The play over the 2 days has been tremendous, and we've finished up with some great results and some great shots for you all to watch the replays over the next space, whatever. As far as the results went, big congratulations to Lachlan Berryman, who with 5 wins and plus 17 came into 3rd place. Well done, Lachlan. In 2nd place with 5 wins and plus 37 was Callum. Thank you. And of course the winner with 7 wins, Robert. Just hang on. Before Robert comes forward, I'd especially like to thank the group of cohorts of mine working on these events that seen fit to put my name forward to be honoured on this great event. And it's a great honour to have had that happen. So without any further ado, I will ask Robert to come forward. Congratulations, Robert.
Thanks, Brian.
Great effort, and great to see you back in Victoria and getting plenty of practice in ready for the big events that are ahead of us. Well done all round. So Robert, it's a great pleasure to me to present this to you.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks very much, Brian. I guess firstly, thanks very much to Lester and Stephen and Kevin and everyone else who's prepared the lawns. Fantastic as always. And thanks to My Sports Live for doing the live streaming, and to Kate for doing all the organising for Croquet Victoria in particular. So thanks very much. And thanks to all the players who made the tournament. It's great to be out, playing croquet again. I think that's echoed by everyone. It's been particularly in Victoria, pretty tough couple of years. So nice to be playing some croquet again. Big thank you to Brian, firstly for managing the tournament, it was a real honour for me to play in this tournament, particularly being the inaugural version of what's now your event. And I think we've just been very blessed to have you managing and volunteering and dedicating all the time that you have to this sport, and particularly here in Victoria. it's always a pleasure to be at the events that you're running. And of course, you're a great person as well, which is awesome. And also to we're club members as well, because I'm a member of Ballarat Alexandra. So it's certainly I think speaking for everyone at the club, we're just super excited to see an event in your name, and hope it continues on in the same spirit that it was played here over the last couple of days. So yeah, awesome. Thanks, Brian.
All right, thank you. Just a little reminder that in 4 weeks' time we've got the AC Men's and Women's Championships, so look forward to seeing you all along with a lot of others here then. Oh, and the post was in the road before. Special thank you to Brian and Mike for their refereeing. Thank you. All right, safe trip home, and we'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.
Well, fantastic to see Robert again, victorious, and there he joined now by Robert. Just for a couple of quick words. Yet again, Robert, we meet to congratulate you at the end of another televised victory.
Hey Gareth, how you going?
Yes, yeah, it's good. So we're making a habit of chatting at the end of one of your victories on the KO coverage, and today is no exception. Fantastic play. Must have really enjoyed it out there.
Yeah, certainly did. Certainly did, Gareth. It's been a great tournament, and the lawns were in great nick, and it's just great to be playing good players, playing croquet, full stop. Pleased to have made it a habit. Talking to yourself.
So the one of the things that was really obvious in your first game was the incredible pace that you were playing at. You were really flowing. We're used to seeing you taking your time and be very thoughtful about things, but you were really motoring. Was that deliberate, or were you just eager to get out of the blocks?
I think it's definitely deliberate. When I can, I try to play quickly. I mean, the conditions weren't super. I guess they weren't difficult or anything like that. Weren't super tricky, so I was able to play with a bit of pace and rhythm.
Yeah, no, it was amazing, because I was trying to keep. We had a little mini map view of the court. We were trying to place the balls as you were hitting them, and I couldn't keep up. They were really moving very fast. So we noticed in that very first game, the pull on the ball seemed to be very challenging. Sometimes it was going left, sometimes it was going right. You had about 4 or 5 attempts at peeling 4-back in that very first game. Did you learn a lot about the lawns after that experience?
Yeah. For me, it was mainly the balls. There are a lot of new sets and old sets kind of floating around at different clubs at the moment in Australia, the pool's kind of radically different depending on whether it's kind of newer plastic or older plastic, and then in terms of age of the balls as well. So after the first game, I kind of twigged which ones they were, and my feeling was a bit better after that.
Yeah, you were certainly on the second day. You were certainly getting down onto the ground a lot more than you were on the first, and it was quite a big difference in the in the rhythm of your game between the 2 days. The mallet that you're using at the moment, this is one that you've had for a while, I believe.
Yes, I've had that one for probably 13, 14 years. And I played with it for a while, and then went through kind of trying all sorts of different mallets, and now I'm back to this one.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it's been another fantastic weekend. We've really enjoyed the incredible skills that you bring and the entertainment that you bring to the viewers, and hopefully it's inspired a lot of people to take up the game, and a lot of golf croquet players who are AC curious, that hopefully they've got a bit of inspiration from your example this weekend. So I'm sure that I'll be interviewing you again as the winner of a future tournament as well. So we should probably get a script going for the next one. But thanks very much, Robert, and it's been fantastic as usual. So that's really great.
Thanks, Gareth. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much for doing all the commentary, and as always. And we'll see. Hopefully, I can continue to make it happen.
All right. Well, that's the end of the broadcast now, and we'd just like to thank everybody at home for watching. And please do check out your local croquet club if you're inspired by the fantastic play that you've seen over the weekend. But otherwise, we'll see you for the next KO coverage, which will be announced soon. So that's a goodbye from me, and goodbye from Robert and the rest of the team.